Is that the issue to say, yo, you came in my hood and made, like the grocery store, like I got a problem with in my neighborhood, right? The problem I have is that all these stores and these people that own these stores don't live here. So at night they pack up and take their money and ship it everywhere else and don't give nothing back from the community where we spend our money every day with them.
Right.
And then there's stuff like books and stuff that the kids in the community, so they need to get them shits the fuck up out of here. Like, so I understand if you saying like, yo, these rappers come here and they pulling in 200,000 from our city and ain't give nothing back, nothing at all for no.
But that ain't cool, man, because niggas don't go, yo, who run Dwayne Reed? Let's run down on them niggas. They making mad money in the hood. Like, you're not doing that to no other business.
Chinese restaurant been taking so much money from our community for so long.
Facts, feeding niggas cat, they don't even know it.
Why we ain't making them pay?
So
because you keep going there. Because you keep going there. No, because you keep going there. Nobody told you to keep going to the Chinese food, man. You keep going there. Nobody told you to keep shopping at this other spot. You keep going there. Nobody told you to give your girl money to go buy all kinds of shit from the Asian chick who's selling her weave. And they sell all of our shit back to us, but we keep going. And we won't go to the black-owned spot. We'll look at them like they crazy.
The harsh reality, we won't.
Yeah, the harsh reality of it is.
The problem is, though, this is the problem, the miseducation of the Negro.
Oh, yeah.
They trained us in America to not look at the corner store.
You gotta talk loud because you don't got a mic, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. He don't even know we filmed. He don't know.
Shit is running.
Oh,
shit is running.
I ain't mean to be in your business.
I didn't mean to be in your business.
But look at this, right? The miseducation of the Negro, it tricked us out of saying that we think we're going to make money off of Bitcoin and not off of Kennedy chicken. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, if it was a black neighborhood, we wouldn't be stocked up like these niggas. You know what I'm saying? When they came in our hood, they broke the key in a lot. It's 24 hours.
Oh no, there's black neighborhoods.
It's
Where?
Black neighborhoods.
It's black neighborhoods.
Where?
This. In our whole life, right? In 30 years, right? In my hood, Papi Cito sent his whole family to Cornell.
Right.
Selling us bagel, egg, and cheeses.
Right,
now,
but Jesus lived right next to you, so that's fine.
Yeah, but
that's fine.
But look at this.
I ain't got a problem with that.
We're not self-sufficient in saying that. In our infrastructure today, listen to hip hop today, right? Right here on this show, right? It's J Hood and Shyheim, right? Mm-hmm. And now when they came out, like on this new record, Get Back, they got, you know what I'm saying? After Babyface Gangsta, Shyheim was the rugged child. Today, the youth that come out their age, they're rapping about having a $2 million watch on. That's a disconnect of proportions. Right. Meaning that, like, for the first time in 50 years, that's why the violence is so crazy. For the first time in 50 years, hip-hop has not made more money than the streets. This is the first time in 50 years that hip-hop is making more money than the block. You know what I'm saying?
You saying now?
Now, hell yeah.
Nah.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. When I say that the streets ain't self-sufficient no more, Uber's delivering weed. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's bud in the corner store and the gas stations now. Right. Cocaine is fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Right. There's literally no money on the block. If you think 50 years ago, when Supreme numbers on the stage and Curtis Blow and Big Daddy Kane was performing at the birthday party, they're gonna pay their rent for the year.
But here's the thing, respectfully, niggas is doing the same shit that niggas was doing 50 years ago. That's the problem.
And respectfully,
why didn't a nigga come up with Uber? Why didn't a nigga come up with a weed delivery service? Why didn't you dig what I'm saying?
Because you got pop money.
Why ain't niggas coming up with the shit like, yo, you in your phone all day. The money's obviously right there.
Look, respectfully though, I think the issue is, I mean, the harsh reality of this shit is niggas is just undisciplined. Mm-hmm. And they are not like, they don't have the proper education when it comes to financial
literacy.
Literacy, exactly. You know what I mean? Like niggas don't know how to reinvest in the community and keep the money within our community and shit. It's not that important to them. You know what I'm saying?
That loops back around to the discipline you mentioned. Because even if I educated you on how to do it, you still need to be educated. You still need to be disciplined enough to put your money to the side, put a little more money to the side. Don't get those sneakers. Don't get that chain.
Right.
Put your money to the side. Okay, now you got enough to go do this other thing. Now you got enough to invest in this strain of weed and open up this storefront and pay your rent for the next 6 7 years.
Listen. I don't even think that's the whole thing, bro.
Hold on, wait, stop. Let me finish.
Niggas is trained
it's never
to target their own.
It's never just
you know
that.
What I'm saying?
That's the biggest issue. It's never just that. There's never one answer because there's not one problem. There's not one size fits all.
You've seen the Wu-Tang documentary of Mice and Men, right? It's a perfect part there when Divine says, when we started making millions, I took money out of everybody's account and put into one major account of the whole clan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then revealed to them, yo, we got this $5 million and $10 million.
Right.
The response wasn't, like in our hood right now, the plazas where they was catching asthma in the barbershop, there's a Home Depot there that we don't own. You know what I'm saying? Now, when they said, when in the Mike and Ben did a documentary, you know what I'm saying? And this is where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Now, you talking about my seeds marry his seeds, marry his seeds. This is how we keep the money all up in the family. Right. When it was revealed to them that some money was put away, nobody said, let's invest it. Everybody said, yo, you was taking money from me? And everybody took their piece.
No discipline.
Let's just
again, in that situation, bro, like if you took my bread, you put it away, the first thing I'm gonna hear is you took my bread. That could have been a plan, and the nigga said, listen, we put this in the paperwork.
You can't make the decision for me. That's like, if you tell a chick, I'm dealing with other chicks, or you just cheat, it's a difference giving them the option to deal with it or not. So you should have gave that person the option to say, yo, I want to invest it, or I don't. I got some other plans with my money.
Right. Just be realistic.
You were supposed to give them the option.
Yeah. This is what we do. Hold on, G. This is what we do in my hood, in Park Slope, right? Me and my guys was all locked up together, right? We decided to get our education, financial literacy, stuff like that. Some of us came home before the other to help lay down a foundation. We go back to our hood, right, in Park Slope, Brooklyn. See who's doing what. We ran down. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go. We want all of this. This is ours. So right now we got 2 stores in my hood.
Right.
Y'all don't belong. Y'all don't live here. Y'all don't bring nothing back here. We do barbecues. We do giveaways. We do all of this shit. Right. Y'all don't belong here. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, blank that out. You running down on niggas.
Yeah.
And shit. Blank that out.
I was about to say.
Just take that part out. Just take that part out. You know what I mean? I think niggas will understand what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But nah, bro, that ain't the way. That ain't the way. You feel what I'm saying?
I salute the idea.
We want that's ours.
No, I salute the idea. I listen. I lived on Flatbush a long time. Jamaica Avenue, the whole shit. You go down these streets in black neighborhoods and find out we don't own nothing there. Nothing there. The Arab man sells you the clothes. The Asian man sells you the food. And all your girls' hair shit. They sell you your style back to you. We don't own shit. The only thing that we invest in to own are the things that we don't feel other races can give us. Barbershops, salons, and the occasional buffet, because we like how we cook food. Yeah. Outside of that, your style, your look, your sneakers, all that, and then there's somebody else who owns the buildings that those things are in. You don't even, they're paying rent to somebody else. There are no black neighborhoods. We don't own shit.
There are black neighborhoods, bro. There are black neighborhoods.
You
gotta show me one.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, niggas would go into a black-owned business and think twice about spending their money because that person is black and I don't want to support this man so he could possibly have more money than me.
Who are those?
But I'm gonna go into another store of a person from a different ethnic group.
All right, hold, you gotta say names. You gotta say names, bro. You gotta say names. Who's doing that? You gotta say
everybody.
Names. Cause a lot of the times it'd be like, niggas that do this, niggas that do that. But there'd be a lot of niggas that watch the show and they'd be like, no, we doing something else over here. We went and got 100 acres. We building houses.
Well, let me specify that then. The average person.
The average person in the hood, I mean, in any hood. You go to a trailer park, it's the same shit. They probably complaining about the same thing. Oh, he gonna go to China Man and get this, da-da-da, but we over here cooking ham hocks, he ain't gonna spend his $5. You dig what I'm saying? It's just when you fucked up, you fucked up. And you looking outside of what looks like you for an answer.
Yeah, but we can't afford to make the same mistakes every place else, man.
And the thing is, it starts with taking accountability, because that's one issue too. That's a major issue.
Facts.
Like, people have a problem with taking accountability. No one wants to, recognize the problem and then be honest about the fact that nobody is taking accountability.
Because
but that's the dudes in the hood that complain about shit but never change nothing.
Because once you take accountability for it, now you're responsible directly for doing something about it. Now now it's going to get uncomfortable because now you don't get to do all the shit you used to do. It's a little more uncomfortable now. Now, if you popping that kind of shit and you walk in the spot with a Gucci belt on, it's like, what happened? You got a Gucci ain't giving shit to the hood. What you wearing now for? Now it gets uncomfortable. Now you got to step outside of your comfort zone and do shit.
Right.
These are walk away jeans.
That shit, man,
April
listen,
Walker
man.
made these.
But
You
what
know what
about
I'm
all of
saying?
the-
I talked to the brothers who made this hoodie.
7 niggas
I
in
know
the
what it
same
is.
projects. I was donating book bags, books, and everything.
What happened?
7 niggas, bro. And after the shit, nobody knew nothing. But I was donating every year. So the problem ain't that.
No, but it's not enough niggas with that same mentality though.
Hood, bro. Like it's just niggas ain't.
That still doesn't make
It's not
them
enough
Don't give a
niggas.
fuck about
There's
that.
not enough
bro.
niggas that
Their own
adopt that same
evolutionary
mentality
process.
that you have. Like it's like that's a sad truth also.
Yeah.
It's just the mentality of the majority of the hood is like the same. You know what I mean? And everybody is not for pushing our people forward.
But
Yeah.
y'all
Because
not,
it's
y'all
not-
not
You
talking
think a
about
nigga
all
gonna
of the
care
black
about his
businesses
neighborhood if
that's
he pissing
owned
in the
online.
elevator?
That I was just
exactly.
talking about.
Yeah,
I
we
was
got
just
a lot.
talking
There's a
about
lot of black-owned
Some of
businesses
us is
online.
out
We
there.
pivoted.
Some of us is
A lot
out
of
there
us as
doing
black
it.
people pivoted because we understood.
No, but we got to start
No,
somewhere.
no,
We got to
no,
start
no,
somewhere.
no.
But we still own and operate the same percentage of wealth that we did in 1950 and
It's
1890.
Yeah, but the
It's
pivot
where-
is
it's
just
where
starting
we
to take
spend it.
place. It's not like
It's
this
where
is a
we
pivot
spend it.
that
With
been
everybody
going
else.
on. Because we
I
understood
don't, but
that
that's
Black-owned.
me.
we understood
Black
that a lot of
owned.
the brick and mortar
From
and
top
small
to bottom,
business loans,
black
the way they
owned,
do the
with the exception of my
institutions is more for
sneakers.
foreigners.
And I
It's
brought
not for
stock
us.
in that.
And you're part of the
So
minority
we had to
that does that,
pivot
though.
and
But
make
that-
shit
but-
online.
and again,
there's a lot of successful
it
black
got
businesses.
Hold on, we can have
uncomfortable.
two conversations going on.
It got wild uncomfortable when I was snapped out of it. It got uncomfortable. I couldn't keep doing the same shit I was doing before. It got uncomfortable. You got to make changes.
Right.
You can't be responsible, snap out of it, realize, oh shit, we don't own anything. Oh shit, I'm part of the problem. And then keep going about it saying, ain't nobody else changing shit. These
so
other
that's-
niggas are
I
still
hear
all doing
that.
the exact same shit.
I hear that, but nigga, you depending on who it is, niggas is support. Rockaware became worth 180 million in less than a year because people supported.
So did Fubu.
So
But
you
can
know
I
what I
say
mean?
something?
Fubu did the
If
same
Jay-Z
thing.
If Jay-Z doesn't abandon Dame Dash, where's Rockefeller today?
Well, that's a whole different
We don't
Right.
know that. We can't say.
Nobody got the time machine,
That's a whole
the
different
shit
But
to
I'm
open
saying
the
is
door
that
and look
every
back like,
time we
oh
come to
shit.
ownership, whether you talking about verses,
They-
every time it comes time for ownership,
We sell
we
it.
gonna celebrate selling out.
Yeah.
See, the song you singing,
What's selling out,
I can't repeat
Selling
that.
it to somebody else.
I can't repeat
And
that.
Dame
'Cause
would
the longer
have-
we repeat it, the longer it gets stuck in our heads,
Right,
the longer nothing
exactly.
changes.
But is that really selling out?
You know what
though?
I mean?
Dame would have an issue with you saying abandoning Jay. He
Yeah,
would probably
facts.
he probably wouldn't take it that
Jay-Z
way.
He said he abandoned Dame.
Nah, it's
they-
not an abandonment. They
they
all
gonna have
sold the
issues.
company. They didn't want to. They didn't want to own no more.
When we say sold the company, it's like to this day it's still selling out because it's like if you look at it and you say right now today, where's the labels that we had? We knew that we didn't own record companies, but they ain't no Bad Boy, they ain't no Death Row, they ain't no Limit.
But they don't have to.
Well,
be.
no, Death Row
There's
is
still-
owned by
there's still a cash
Snoop.
money.
Snoop brought Death
There's
Row.
still- there's still-
Look
yeah,
at the
there's still a
artists
Death
that's out
Row.
today, when you say NBA Youngboy or Kodak Black, it's like what labels are they on?
Well,
They're
no,
owned.
no, hold on, because now we overlooking a bunch of dudes. Kendrick and his whole setup, all them dudes over
Top
there,
dog, yeah.
TDE,
That's right.
they own that. I just mentioned one. Who did I just mention? You're right, just that fast, it's out of my head.
You talking about drops in the
J. Cole got his whole. No, we talk. You only mentioned like 3 or 4. I can mention at least 5 or 6.
Russell got his own shit.
Like,
Facts.
But Jay Hood got his own shit.
There it is.
Let's get
Man,
to that.
Hoffa got his own shit.
Let's get to that.
DFG Records, you
You
heard?
know why all that music is gonna be able because today
Drip with
right
the
now,
drip, what
on
up?
this podcast, the infrastructure has been created where today right now this is the new Oprah, the new Phil Donahue, where you could come on here, you could go on Queen's Flips, you could do Joe Button, and it's literally the equivalent of going on the major talk show circuit of 30, 40 years ago. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Now, if you say today, now look at this, this podcast is great, everything, but then it's like the same thing that happened on this podcast, that happened on I Am Athlete, that happened on Joe Button. And the one thing that keeps me mystified, I'm like, damn, forget putting a rap group together. It's like niggas can't keep a conversation going.
Man, I mean that's
Now we're getting
different.
into a whole different-
You can't
yeah.
put me in a
not
realms.
talking about
Hold on. You can't put me in the realms of Joe Button. You know what I mean? The host in here has switched a bunch of times.
That's right.
A lot of people who read those headlines probably thought in their mind that they've been here from the start, but no, he was here for 7 months. You dig what I'm saying?
Even with Misfit numbers
and that's
and
cool.
the way it grown. No,
Right,
you see
but
this
people
thing
go their
grow like
own
a
ways.
living thing, like a
Right.
virus. Like it's
Right.
taking on
But
like
you ain't
I
never
see-
hear Misfit come out and say, yo, this was the issue, this, that. That's still the homie.
No,
she still call me to, yo, what up? What you doing? I'm pulling up.
The battle rapping narrative, it was the foundation of it, which it still is. You know what I'm saying? But it grew into like, I always thought it was already my expert opinion. Even the title of it was like, yo, it's a great show.
Right.
Because what you were saying with your expert opinion was on.
Right.
But then like anything that's done organically or naturally, you know what I'm saying? It's like it grew into this thing of saying that now if you could ride with it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like now you done showed yourself to be a selfless leader, meaning like it ain't about me. You know, you don't prove that it's about the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, yo, salute. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Now, like you said, it has changed. But if you look at it and you say today that, unfortunately, in this time and area, it's like the publicity and the controversy of it is part of the marketing. You know what I'm saying?
We switching top. We drifting off.
But that's fine, bro. Yeah. Because if you look at Apple, there's a couple niggas that was there at the start that ain't there now. That's right. You look at any big corporation, there's somebody that was there at the start that's not there.
That's the shuttle. That's the shuttle.
We just highlight our shit and spotlight like we all got a
but Apple is still white owned.
And ultimately,
the ownership didn't change.
But ultimately, sometimes that's the goal. Sometimes to make the company triple or quadruple its worth and then sell it just so you can bang. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
we had Hitmaker sit in that chair right there and talk to us about selling this catalog, selling this, selling that, selling this, selling that. One of the first things we said was, why not keep it for your family? Right. Why not hold on to it, pass it on to somebody else, start something else? He said, nah, because I got a million ideas. I got this, I got that. He's not wrong.
Wow.
He's not wrong. But everybody, it's still not a motto I think everybody should be doing. Yeah. I think when your grandmother owns the house, I don't think Nana should sell it and move to North Carolina. I think somebody in the family should have that house so one of the kids ain't got to worry about paying rent. There's a difference between our community and their community. They stick around. Their kids. I know a dude. I know a homeboy of mine, white dude, love him to death, right? This dude would start a business and it would fail every 2.5 to 3 years. He would start the business, take a year putting it together. It would fail in under 2 years. And another year, he'd be right back at it. And I could never figure out where you was coming up with all this shit. Every time I turn around, you got a new business.
Right.
I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, but after a minute, it dawned on me like, nigga, this is like the 5th thing you promoted to me since I've known you.
Right.
How the fuck, this is number 5. And these are like real businesses. Like you need investments, you need loans. How you? He go, no. He would move back home when the business failed. He'd go back in his house. He save up his money.
That ain't nothing new, man.
It is when your parents kick you out at 18. Yeah. When your mama don't own the house no more.
Yeah, and then come back home, bro.
No.
You never been back with the black bag walking back. I'm back, niggas. I'm back. You know what I mean? I'll be out of here in a couple of months, though. You know what I'm saying?
Shit with the stick with the fucking handkerchief on the
head. They set him up. They set him up.
I'm talking about when you don't have a fear of failure because you always have a safety net. Yeah. Right. We go out with no safety net. When I left out the house, by majority, when we leave out the house, most of us don't come back. But you can't come back. Your moms may not own that house. Bruh. Grandma sold the house. Mom sold the house. They all moved someplace else.
Have you been to Atlanta?
No.
Do you know how many niggas own their house?
You gonna name me one state?
Bro, we gotta stop talking about all right. The niggas that's fucked up is starting to become not the minority, but there's a lot of people doing good, bro.
The fact that you had to start that sentence off with starting to get like that, when I'm talking about people who've been doing that for generations, we are not the same.
We're not.
We're not the same. I'm talking about.
We just came out of some vote. We just got the right to vote like a blink ago.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying?
So why discourage when I'm telling you what it is now? I'm not saying we can't never get there, but I'm saying this is the way to go. And if you want to know why they can always start over, why they always have the ability to just bounce right back.
We control less than 2% of the wealth in the United States, man.
Say it again?
We control less than 2% of the wealth in the United States.
But how much do we spend, Playboy?
We spend.
But
how much do we spend?
As consumers, we the taste.
How much do we spend?
We spend a great deal.
Because we don't spend it where it needs to go.
We don't keep it in the...
Exactly. Exactly.
It's weird for me to hear shit like this. Because all the niggas I be around, they bosses. Our kids ain't got the same problem.
Lord Jesus, you
I'm just saying, bro.
because you are
like change your circle.
you no, bro.
Change your
I'm not
circle,
talking
bro.
about me.
He's singing a sad song.
I'm
Don't believe everything this nigga's saying. There's a lot of niggas doing good out here.
About
but
me.
this is what I'm saying.
Not everybody.
But you're naming.
But how good is a person doing, right? When we have a duty to civilize all the families, right? So once I get out, if I leave, yeah, I'm doing good and we doing good, but there's so many that's not doing good that we're held responsible.
Right.
Not to do anything, right? Because people get it help, right? I don't want to help nobody. I would assist you in doing what you're already doing with information, and it's up to you to take that knowledge and put it into activation to get your own understanding.
But Shop, you know
exactly what I'm doing.
When you said change is an inside job.
Yeah.
You can help a nigga all day. If he don't want to change, bro, he ain't gonna change.
And we
gonna keep coming back to you.
And we just did
You find the niggas that's already changing. You work with them.
We just did a 180.
You bring them up.
Now we did a 180 because the first thing I said was lack of discipline. That's the first thing I said.
Ain't
You
nobody
don't have
argue
discipline.
with you.
No, but when I point out the fact that people don't have discipline and when I'm giving people a different road to take, here's why these other places are winning. I'm not telling you to keep doing the same bullshit you've been doing. I'm explaining to you, this is why this side is winning. Here's one thing they're doing that you don't take into account.
Yeah, the core
and it's something you could be doing.
It's a lot more than that, bro.
Hold on. Shot, hold on. Again, the second thing I said, it's more than one thing. There is no one answer. I didn't say that. I'm saying there's more than one thing because we got more than one issue.
Right.
We got mentality issues. We got discipline issues. We got tons of issues.
Right.
I'm pointing out where some of those issues are, and here's something you could do about it.
I got no mercy for none of y'all niggas.
Yeah.
MECC, he gonna cry for you niggas. I'm not gonna cry. Because in this world, it's adapt or die.
Remember that when
Some of you niggas, you gonna die.
You remember that when you hear me tell
But then
somebody
there's a
that their
couple other
music
niggas
sucks.
that's gonna adapt, and we gonna make shit better. You dig what I'm saying? But all this, it's a sad song. We don't do this, we don't do that. Nah, bro, I don't wanna hear that shit, man.
And it's sad, but a lot of some niggas need to be flushed out though.
Yeah, facts.
They're
So
gonna
it is
be
what
flushed
it
out.
is.
They're gonna be
It
flushed
is
out.
what it is. If you ain't
But we still
smart,
gotta feed them, though.
you ain't smart enough to figure out what's going on out here, you gonna get caught in what the system got laid out for
You
you.
overlooking social engineering to the highest degree.
No, I'm not.
We said it was
You
mad
wanna know
factors
why?
involved. It's mad
I'm from
factors.
Brooklyn, nigga, and I seen a nigga come from Marcy Projects and become a billionaire. You know what I said? I said, I think I can do it too.
I can't, yeah.
Look at, but see, everything
That's how we
MECC
supposed to be thinking.
Everything MECC say, you gotta look at it like this, right? Jay-Z's 53, right? I'm gonna be 50.
MECC singing, yeah, we're handicapped.
I'm not saying that.
No matter how
I didn't say that. I didn't say. Hold on.
Not doing that.
I never said that. I'm not sure where you hear
when you
that.
constantly rehearse that we're doing it with bro, that's not how you get up. You get up by paying attention to what's right.
Okay.
You pay attention to what's wrong.
Don't.
That's where your mind is gonna be at. It's wrong. It's wrong.
That's
it's wrong,
how.
It's wrong.
That's
it's wrong.
how.
We can't do nothing. It's wrong.
I'm gonna let you.
I'm looking up at who got it right. Oh, he got it right. What he did. Oh, what? That's what he did. All right, cool.
Hold up.
Let's do that next. You know what I'm saying?
Which is exactly what I just did. I'm pointing out the people who got it right. Here's something you could be doing.
I just like fucking with you.
Well, knock that shit off. Knock that shit off. I'm sitting here trying to...
he is gonna cry for you niggas. I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not.
Again.
I'm not.
Again. No, because I'm the dude who was on this show saying early, I'm not arguing with nobody Harriet Tubman would have shot.
That's right.
Nigga, I'm all of it.
That's how I feel.
Been my line.
That's how I feel.
That's
if
been
Harriet
my
would have
line.
came to you and been like, yo, you ready to get free? And you say, oh no, man, I don't know if massacre. Pow, nigga. Stay right there, nigga. We out.
Harriet left them on the plantation if they didn't want to go. But if you showed up and it was time to run the race and you start dragging behind, you got the business. She buried you where you was, and she didn't bury you. Put you someplace.
The context that's left out of that, though, I feel, is that you gotta understand something.
But you don't got a mic, so you gotta talk about it.
Anyway, Pum.
What's your name, bro?
My name is Ike Stevenson.
Ike
It's
Stevenson.
like, now,
Ike Stevenson, baby.
This is the thing, right? That's the context that's left out of it. Today, if I say, yo, you want to go to Bali, you want to go to Dubai, not only do you, if you've never been there, not only can you research to every degree, right?
Right.
When you were saying, let's go out there, You know what I mean? You were literally talking into a mystical world that had to be like looking like, yo, Jesus is gonna come down. Where are we going? Because if you ever look at our history, right? Now look at everything MECC is saying that this is the point in the last 50 years, right? 50 years ago, we had Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Today, we argue over how George Floyd died. Like, who is he, actually? You know what I mean? Now, if you think about it, right? I was born in 73, right? In 71, the dollar's taken off the gold standard. So the dollar becomes a receipt. Right. So Grandpa's house that he was able to buy at the factory for 50 cash, that doesn't exist no more, right? So then you say we come outside, right? We get the first of everything. We get AIDS and we get crack. You know what I mean? Now, when I look at George Floyd, I say, yo, we don't got no more models no more. They reflipped Martin King on us. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
he's my nigga. No, you singing that song, bro.
When you say singing, listen what I'm trying to say. I'm literally saying that, right? They introduced us. Now you're saying in 93, we got the police are militarized against us.
Right.
Now, how in the last 50 years, even when we talk about Jay-Z or we talk about Puff or we talk about Kanye, dumb niggas don't own shit. Nothing.
That's not true.
They don't own anything. They don't own no factory.
That's not true. That's not true.
But how do you know?
That's not true.
Wait,
I can't follow you. I can't follow you.
Making a lot of
I can't follow you.
That's like saying.
I can't follow you.
That's like saying with all the stuff.
I can't follow you.
What if they don't want the factories?
When I say own,
what if they don't even want to own it
who
though?
sold us anything more than chicken and beer? Liquor.
Why do they got to show you what they own?
No, you ain't got to show us nothing. It's like when we talk about a billionaire, it's like, look, check this out, right? I seen Floyd Mayweather said he bought Jeff Bezos' own jet. Floyd Mayweather's getting money. Jeff Bezos is building spaceships and flying out of space.
That's fine.
No, meaning that unless we do, look at O Block came up for sale. We got all these billionaires. I would have loved to see somebody buy a project.
Why? Why?
Because we niggas. Straight like that. Listen, when we
Let's start the show, man. Let's start the show, man.
That's a good one.
That's good. Yo, man, let's start the show, man. Let's start the watermelon.
All right, we back. Well, I asked for being the greatest show in the world. It's some real barbershop shit going on tonight, man. Yo, hit that like, hit that share, let everybody know you in here. Don't cost you no paper unless you some mother hater. MECC.
Salute, King.
Who you crying for today? You ain't crying.
Terrible rappers and bad philosophers.
There it is. There it is. Sean Bigger, man of God. Stapleton in the building. Stapleton. Hey, I see you, bro. I see you, man. I hear you.
Oh,
Gat, what it is. Guns, Gats and Roses, when?
Early February.
Early February?
2023.
All right, cool.
Gats and Roses.
What's up with that big Brooklyn record?
Gonna drop that probably like January.
How many people on that shit?
Like 100, the whole borough.
Good God.
100.
You got fucking Rob This Monster, Helter Skelter, Stephen Weston.
My God.
Nav Hoffa.
Hands.
Brooklyn Hands, D Chambers, Cortez, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler. God, the whole borough, the whole Brooklyn.
The whole
G
Brooklyn.
K.
How long is this song?
It's like a half
It's
hour.
like a half hour.
Okay. It's like
But it's a half an hour because of Trigger.
Nah,
Disrespectful.
Trigger the Gambler violated though.
Nah, he violated.
He did.
But he always does.
But you know what?
He always does.
I'm glad I violated too. So you 12 bar niggas, y'all gonna be mad when you hear me and Trigger shit. It is what it
Everybody
is.
on that big Brooklyn record though.
Facts. Shout out to everybody.
Inspired by K Slade.
Yo, and for everybody that's watching us on that record, holla, we want to shoot a video for that, an official video. Official video. We want to shoot for that. So get in contact with Gap, we figure it out, Gap.
All right, let's get it.
All right. Champ,
What's
you know
up,
the
man?
vibes.
You know the vibrations.
What's the word?
Man. Listen, escalating. You know, I dropped a little Casamigo on my Nike Tech.
You didn't have to tell us that shit.
Yeah, can they see it? Let me check the
People
camera.
can't even see it, bro.
Check the camera.
Nah, man.
Oh, damn, it's all
Fuck out of here,
Nah,
man.
nobody can see Nobody can see that shit, man. You good, man. You good.
I'm good.
You ain't
Everything's
have to
good,
tell
man.
us.
I'm glad to
He's
be
good.
here, blessed and free, man.
That's what it is. And I got two of, at one point, the youngest gunners in the game who were making waves, and niggas was standing behind them like, he's only 15! He's only 16! You know what I mean? And niggas was like, yo, who do you think, yo, this shit crazy. Yo, two of the most powerful squads, too. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get a lot of history. They've been around for a minute, and they here to share their experience with us. We got J Hood and Shyheim. You heard? Wu-Tang LOX, nigga. We here. What's good, y'all?
Peace.
How y'all doing today?
This guy.
They walking. They didn't know wheelchairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, damn. How old were you when you came in?
What, in here tonight? Or
No.
13, I signed the Virgin. I was about 13 years old.
13.
Yeah, my first major contract, yeah.
Wow. And you got with the locks at what age?
I mean, I officially, as far as like starting some shit, we started.
No. When did you pop up on the scene? Okay, I'm moving around with these guys.
Like 15, 14.
15 and 13. That's incredible. That's incredible. A lot of people don't even develop their style. You know what I'm saying? Until like they in their early 20s, maybe late 20s or whatever.
Right.
And y'all was pushed to the forefront. I remember watching everybody's, what was it? This Goes On, or what was the name? I'm forgetting the name.
On and On.
On and On.
Yeah.
And I was like, how you get up there? We like, he look younger than me. This shit crazy. But the joint was fire.
Thank you.
And you was breaking out a lot of shit about the hood and talking about, you know what I mean, what's going on.
Yeah.
And I heard J Hood, Hot 97, Kisses screaming, yo, he's only 15.
Yeah, he's still in high school.
Yeah.
What is it like getting into the game that early?
Well, for me, I emulated what I seen around my neighborhood. You know, I was fortunate enough to have, at this time, you know, y'all see them as Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I'm saying, and GP and the UMCs and the Foursome Ds, but these are all groups from my neighborhood that, you know, was fighting to get our voice heard from a little place called Staten Island that was off, you know what I'm saying? So our fight was strong. So I emulated them. And then, you know, I was fortunate enough to have, you know, mentors like early in the game before I came out to the world, Big Daddy Kane and Naughty by Nature, you know, to be around these dudes and be embraced. See, at that time, I wouldn't say it wasn't egos, but the older dudes, when they seen the young fella spitting and they see he had it in his eyes and he was dedicated, they gave you that knowledge. They grabbed you and put you under the wing.
Right.
And they gave it to you genuinely, at least me. Like, you know, Jews like Never Sell Your Publishing. There's things that Kane taught me and the RZA taught me early on that helped molded me, you know what I'm saying, into the business. So by the time I came out to the world, I was already fine-tuned to where it just looked like where he come from, but I had the greats that helped mold me into
Because you look too smooth with it.
Yeah.
When you came out, I was like, yo, you built for the camera. Okay, cool. Hood.
As far as me, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, like real talk. It was like some movie shit for me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I say that in the sense of like, first and foremost, I come from North Carolina originally, you know what I'm saying? So I moved up to New York when I was like 11, 12. The whole reason why we moved from North Carolina to New York was because my mom thought that I would have a better chance of getting signed than I would have being in North Carolina.
What age was you rapping?
11.
11.
I got a offer from EMI Records at 12. You know what I'm saying? I could have had a deal then, but my mom's basically turned the shit down because they told her that I was gonna have to miss school and all that other type of stuff. So immediately after she heard that, she shut it down. We ended up moving to New York without a real plan. We moved to a shelter, and the shelter that we lived in, it was called West Ave. You know what I mean? So anybody that know about the shelters, you know about West Ave. I was in West Ave for like 5 months. But when we was living in West Ham, my mom ended up befriending, and this is like how the universe works. She befriended Mace's mother's friend. So, you know, at this point, I'm not even gonna hold you. I didn't know anything about the Locks. You know what I'm saying? Because I was fresh from NC. I grew up off of whatever my brother was playing in the crib as far as hip hop, and that's how I got into it.
What was he playing?
Nas, Helter Skelter, Outkast, Goody Mob, you know what I mean? Scarface, Ghetto Boys, Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, Boot Camp.
The Cream.
You feel me? Like all that. So
you just listen to Shy.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
That's fine.
So when I'm in the shelter, like I said, she befriended Mace's mom, and she used to tell us all these stories about how Mace came up and how she watched him grow up and all that. And she ended up telling me where Mace's mother lived at when we end up leaving out the shelter. So I started recording with Jay Arms. I don't know if y'all know who Jay Arms is.
Jay Arms. Yeah, he used to have them instrumental mixtapes.
Right.
Niggas Jay Arms.
Right.
Word.
I recorded a demo with him before I met the Locks. We recorded like 60 songs.
60.
Facts.
That's not a demo, my guy.
My nigga, we were
That's a concert.
Like what was it? Three was a demo back in the day. Three joint.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
3, 4,
6-0?
I mean,
Facts.
6.
Nigga, that's a festival.
That's a real
You recorded a festival.
So we recorded these songs, and I end up taking like a demo with like 18 songs to Mace's mom's crib. She didn't know who I was. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be bold like this. She lived in a Ville on 10th Ave. Walked to her crib, knocked on the door. She came to the door. She's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm not gonna lie. I was mixed out. At that point, I think everybody was mixed out. I used to have to rock the hat back over the eyebrows and all that.
Ears tucked in and all that shit.
And all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm a big fan of your son. Da da da. I would appreciate if you let him hear this and all. She looking at me because I got my mom's with me too.
Right.
Because she believed in me like that. So she like, okay, she got the demo. Nothing ended up happening from that, but we ended up moving to Yonkers. And I heard about the Locks from in the shelter.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm hearing about them when I'm getting in Yonkers. They're like, yo, they really be out here too. So I'm like, let me see what I can find out about them. I live like down the block from where Sheik and Styles used to hang at. So one day I took it upon myself to just pop up over there and just, you know,
see what's going on.
See if it's true, like see if they really out here.
Yeah.
I end up seeing Sheik. And it's crazy, like real talk.
How long was you out there, son?
I'm gonna tell you something real.
Try to make it like a magic moment.
Right.
Was you out there,
like,
was you out there for a couple hours?
Rain. Let us get some rain.
You feel me? I end up finding out where Sheik lived at. You know what I'm saying? So I popped up at his crib with my demo. I went to like Kinko's or something, made the flyers and made copies.
How old are you doing this?
I'm like 13, 14. Go to Sheik crib, knock on the door.
This is why I don't got no sympathy for you niggas, man. I'm sorry, man. 13, 14, look what he's doing.
Facts.
That's what it is.
Knock on Sheik's door. His uncle come to the door. Uncle E, shout out to Uncle E. He like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, Sheik here?
You his son?
Right. Long son.
I'm like, Jay. He like, Jay who, nigga? Because at this point, my name ain't Jay Hood. You know what I mean?
But your name was Jay Hood.
Right, all
Right.
along. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my real name. So I'm like, Jay. He like, Jay. I'm like, look, man, I just want to get Sheik my demo. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. He like, all right, cool. I respect that. So he took the demo. I don't know if he gave it to him or not. I don't know if he ever did, but he took the demo.
Right.
And what I did was I just kept coming around, hanging around 354. Like, it was on some real weird stuff. I'm not gonna lie though. Like I used to like let's say this is the front of the store. I used to go like to the edge of like the corner and just sit there and just chill. one day she was like, yo, who is this little nigga over here? Anybody know him? Niggas turned around, they like,
so he's
the
there.
Whole turned around like,
so he's there.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there chilling like,
yeah, niggas like, yo, who you? I'm like, Jay. They're like, Jay, who? Nigga, who the fuck is who is Jay? Nigga, I'm like, Jay. They like, look, man, I ain't gonna lie. Where you from? I'm like, from NC. They're like, all right, man. I kept coming around, and eventually I jumped into like a battle in front of the hood. They heard me spit, and I just kept coming around. You know what I'm saying? They took a liking to me.
right.
And I started, after SP heard me one time, he like, yo, you need to go to Rough Riders. They'd be battling down there and all that type of stuff.
Right.
I ended up going to Double R. They called it the Dungeon back then. Everybody used to come through.
Who you battle?
Me and Cassidy used to spar. You know what I mean? Larceny. They used to have people.
Cass said he never took an L, so. He got you up out of there. I'm just saying.
Listen, man.
Yo, Cash, whatever you told me.
Listen.
Yo,
man.
Cash, you told me that.
Whatever helps niggas sleep at night. I don't know.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
But you know, he also said it's one person that, you know, but it ain't no L. Whatever the case be, man. Whatever.
Right.
But we used to be going at it. Mm-hmm. People from Beaumont, people from Louisiana, all type of people used to come.
Did you ever go at it with Jen?
He came a little later.
He came later.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was actually supposed to get signed at Rough Riders first. But what happened was Sheik was like, he came to me, he like, listen, I'm gonna tell you something real. I'm like, what's up? He like, you could get signed to Rough Riders because they was interested. He was like, we can get you signed over here, or you could be part of starting something brand new and being like looked at as, you know, someone who co-created this. I'm like, listen, you ain't gotta say no more. Let's do it.
Right.
So me and Sheik and his best friend and my former manager at the time, we sat down collectively and came up with the idea to start D-Block. So it was kind of crazy coming from where I came from.
And came up with the whole D-Block thing.
Right.
Wow. Wow. And from there, what happened?
SP and Kiss came aboard afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So once we planned it out, because we didn't have the name like at the beginning of it. We just had like the concept and we had the idea of what we wanted to do.
Right.
So we started recording freestyles. You know, we recorded a song called Call Me Hood. That was the first song I ever recorded with Sheik. We ended up recording that. We gave it to like K-Slade. We started distributing it to different DJs and the response was good. And we started putting the freestyles out. And honestly, I don't even think they was ready for how the buzz just, you know, started growing. You know what I mean? Like, and then one day, Kiss, you dropped this like, what was it, Kiss the Game Goodbye album? Mm-hmm. And he had hit, I was in the parking lot. And I think Gusto, which is his man, Gus came through the hood. He like, yo, Kiss wants you to come to the radio station. It was me and like two other homies from the hood, like Tiger Bone and this nigga named Black Jesus. You feel me? Shout out to them. Why, yo?
Right.
So Gus, he like, listen, be ready in an hour. I'm like, I ain't bet. I was already ready. I ain't had to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So
now back in the days, how many joints you had in the chamber?
Bars?
Yeah, like no different verses.
It was unlimited, man.
Unlimited.
It was unlimited. Cool. I was on go time. You know what I'm saying? So he like, be ready in an hour. I'm like, say no more.
Right.
He came through in the Beamer, came to scoop me. We all in the car, hit the west side, ended up going to High 97. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. I was a little nervous because it was my first time not only being on Clue, but being on a major radio station, period. Right. You know, I did mad ciphers and stuff like that, but as far as like a major radio station, I was
So did they tell you you was going to Hot 97, right?
Yeah.
So you sit in the back seat
the whole time. I'm like,
and you like,
it's about, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's lit.
Right.
It's about to be lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we get there, but I'm still nervous at the same time though, because it's something that I've never experienced.
But you're J Hood at this point, right?
Right. Okay. So let me just rewind briefly. Mm-hmm. We in the parking lot, me and SP. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, but don't get it twisted. My name was J Love first, L-U-V.
Yeah.
But when I was J Love, they knew me from my love for music. That's where it came from. It was corny, but that's where it came from.
You was young.
Yeah. You know, you gotta find yourself.
All right. My first name was J Red. It is what it is. No, second name was J Red. I ain't even tell you my first.
But J Love was running around roasting niggas.
Right.
You feel me? So it wasn't like that. But anyway, we in the parking lot. SP like, yo, what's your whole name? I'm like, Joshua Hood. He like, your last name is Hood? I'm like, yeah. He like, nigga, that's your name right there. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he like, nigga, J Hood. He like, nigga, what?
Word.
It's nothing else to think about.
How you get past that?
Yeah, he like, nigga, ding, ding. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
You know what? You're right. You know what I'm saying? And I started running with it.
Right.
But to get back to what we were saying now, what the
Hot
hell?
97.
Yeah, Hot 97.
Hot 97.
So we get up there, and like I said, we 3 deep at this point because everybody don't even know. Like the people that heard the Clue series and all, I don't know that I wasn't Dolo doing those freestyles. It was 2 other artists. So we get up there, everybody spit twice. I end up going once, and after I went last. My second time going around, I'm like, listen, I gotta go dummy. You feel what I'm saying? Like real talk, I gotta go stupid. So that 1-800-HUSTLER beat came on.
Yeah.
Bulletproof Hoodies freestyle, 100 bar drum. I dropped that. Then the the Kids Knock Yourself Out beat came on.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold up, this nigga album just dropped. It's his album, we up here for him, but I gotta do it dirty.
Right.
I gotta do
it
filthy.
dirty. Yeah.
So I started doing it filthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like
he's hyping you the whole time.
He hyping me. But look, he like, yo, he tapping me. He like, yo, all right, that's enough. We gave you a whole mix. I'm like, yo, nah, chill, man. I got bars still, man. I want to keep going. So I kept going a little bit. He like, yo, chill. I'm
Too
like,
much.
damn, man. And I stopped. But like after that, I'm like, damn, I should have kept going. You know what I mean? But it was what it was. Cause like,
you made the impression.
Yeah, a week after that,
shit.
I didn't know the impression that I made like at the time. A week after that, Clue ended up dropping the tape, the Stadium series. And my freestyle was the only freestyle on there. And he ended up telling Kiss that this was the person that everyone kept calling up, asking about. And immediately after that happened, they knew that we had something, you know what I'm saying? And we just started like ultimately, work distributing like mad different freestyles and songs and building that buzz up.
Getting the mixtapes out and all that shit.
Well, like I said, I don't think they was ready for how fast
it was gonna happen.
Right.
Was D Block already a thing at that time, or did y'all go back and, all right, look, we got it. You hear the buzz, send the budget over.
Nah, it was already a thing, if you want to put it like that. But we didn't have like any distribution at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause to be quite frank with you, Styles came up with the name D Block. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have, like I said, me and Sheik, my former manager and his friend, came up with the idea to start D Block, but we were just winging it. You know what I mean? No name. Styles was like, yo, we need to call it D Block. So we put a name to it. And as soon as we put a name to it, they hired Super Mario. Super Mario used to work with Bad Boy for their promotional team and all that. So they hired him as the president of D Block. You know what I mean? Like G-Unit had Shy Money. Super Mario was all Shy Money.
Right.
He was the one who gave the freestyles and songs to all these different DJs and stuff like that. And he was even putting out tapes with all material on it. You know what I mean? But
smart idea.
Yeah, once we started getting it buzzing and they seen like, oh snap, we got an opportunity. Like a little after that, like we started getting label calls and all, stuff like that, and we end up speaking to Charles Soup from Universal.
No, the next thing was I saw you in the Source. Okay. When y'all was on the ledge.
And we had the Dickie outfits.
Yeah.
My issue with that, right? It was, first and foremost, that was like it for me. You feel what I'm saying? Because that wasn't the first magazine that I was in. The first one was the XXL. It was a Wu-Tang cover. They all had like the Olympics. Right. It was an Olympic theme on it. You know
was that the one you had on the Yankee joint? Nah, not the Yankee,
I had an Academics waterproof
right.
jumpsuit on. That was on. I was getting sponsored by Academics. I had that beige waterproof joint on.
Right.
But as far as the Source, right? The Source was dope. That Source write-up that we had. But I had a minor issue with it, right?
What was the minor issue?
My issue was, originally the cover was supposed to be all of us. When I say all of us, I mean like Sheik, Styles, Kiss, and myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was supposed to be based around D Block.
Right.
The guys let the Source tell them that, I was a new artist and all that, so they wasn't 100% comfortable with putting me on the cover or something like that. And I felt like, the big homies didn't like really voice their opinion and throw their weight around and like, you know what I mean, do what they're supposed to do as far as like, listen, this is what's going on right here. This is my artist and this is our company and this is what we're doing.
Well, hold on 1 second, because we could fact check that. Is that what happened?
Who ended up making the cover?
The Locks.
Just the Locks by themselves?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's what happened?
I don't know. I didn't write that one, but I can tell you that one makes sense. And I can also tell you that if there was an argument back and forth, one of the reasons why they might have acquiesced to go to Source's way is because somebody else could be on the cover. In other words, there was another feature story right there, and there was another cover that was shot. So if y'all gonna give me an argument about this, we'll just make these other guys the cover.
But my thing, the whole purpose for me saying it was, I had a minor issue with it though, because in my state of mind, I'm like, listen, and I'm assuming at this point, but I'm making an educational assumption. And I say that because we would compare it to someone, and we're just speaking hypothetical, right? We would compare it to someone like a Cameron or something like that. Cam not about to let the source tell them, nah, we can't put Juelz on the cover because he a new artist. He like, man, why I ain't doing it then?
Right.
And he would have just walked away.
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that Cam has been on the covers by himself a bunch of times, so it hits a little different. You talking about it?
But the Locks as a group, they've been on the cover.
Yeah, but the Locks on the group was still on the cover, and Juelz has always been a part of Dipset. He may have been the newest member, but he was always, and Cam always moved as Dipset. This is my group, as opposed to this is my group and my new artist. It just lands a little different. I can see both sides of it. I can understand why you would feel that way, but at the same time, the goal isn't how it looks. The goal is what it is. What it is getting on the cover, introducing our new artist, and being here, getting this. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole team has to win.
So you felt like they didn't fight for you?
I'm not gonna say that. But what I'm saying is, it's like if the point that you just made, right? So if that's the main goal, you're talking about getting the label out or getting the whatever. I don't mean to say whatever, but getting whatever out. One would think that, listen, this is what we're doing right now. This is the imprint that we're pushing. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, we are who we are. We established. We earned our respect here. So this is what we're doing right here. It's nothing. It's not going to cost you guys to let me put my artist on here.
Well,
Right.
no.
But it's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
When you talk about Cam, like Juelz is on a Cameron single for his solo album. The first single. You dig what I'm saying? He's already incorporating them in his solo projects.
Whereas D-Block is just being established as its own company.
Right. You're not
itself.
on their singles. You're not on.
Okay, so look,
certain
so
shit,
if we're gonna speak technically from that aspect, right? So that's a whole nother conversation that we could have. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on the Two Guns Up, which is the biggest record that you would know the D-Block imprint for. But I did not get to do my part in the video. But I was on that single, which was a Chic single.
Okay.
Right.
Not doing your part in the video means you weren't visual.
Right.
The cover is purely visual.
Right.
So if you're an unknown face,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it takes away, but I'm saying if I gotta sell magazines, and I know how the Source gave it up in that time. These niggas literally went gold every month. It was 500,000 copies and better sold monthly, which was unheard of.
You want the known face?
Yeah. You can't, well, it's not even that you want the known face. You really can't risk anybody looking at it and going, who's that?
But not only that, but how do you tell Master P not to put Slick Trippy on the cover after that? You know what I'm saying?
Didn't even look at State Property. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that they had a cover also. You know what I mean?
Right, but the first time we saw Petey, he was on a track with Beans,
Freeway.
And he was in the video.
and all of the established artists already. Right. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a different push. The first time I heard Petey Crack was watching the video for that.
It's a different
You know
animal.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So
That's why it was being marketed and pushed the correct way. And unfortunately, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not blaming nobody or.
But you see now.
But I got to perform at the Source Awards though.
And there's that. I was gonna say that. And the other part is now if they cut you from the interview, that's different. If you did the interview and because I've seen that happen, you didn't get one word out. They just mentioned your name off to the side, said you was in the room, and that was all she wrote.
Right.
If they'd have cut you, I remember your quotes.
Yeah, I actually did the interview.
I remember your quotes. I remember you saying like, "Yo, this shit is basically me in the kitchen. I be cooking it up. Like, yo, y'all like how this is? If not, I go back and make more." I remember the other, because if you sleep, I'm hopping right in the throne. I remember your quotes. You were in the interview.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Right. They cut you out the interview. Now you have it. Now you have something to complain about. But you made it where you were supposed to go.
Nice.
But it's almost the same thing like what happened with Benny the Butcher with our magazine, right? Benny came along in 2018. Remember Benny was on the cover of one of the Bibles?
No, I wasn't.
In 2008. All right. In 2018, right? Benny was like, yo.
That's where you would have saw it though.
Yeah,
Not really, because if you into that type of thing, when I was doing my biz, I wasn't really interested in a magazine.
Okay.
Or short eyes and
Not that type of magazine.
I mean, yeah, the Gyro, but you know what I'm saying? That was different.
Right. I know what you're talking about the pussy books. Yeah. But
not the pussy books.
As far as the viral is concerned, it was like, media based or whatever, entertainment based. But Benny hit us up and said, yo, I want Armani Caesar right on the cover instead of Heem and Rick Hyde. Right? But Rick Hyde and Heem was buzzing. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. I said, so we'll come back to this then. You know what I'm saying? I should be home soon, whatever the case may be. You put Benny on one side, we put Armani Caesar on the other side of the magazine. I come home fast forward early this year. He like, yo, I got Heem and Rick Hyde. You ready? And we threw all three of them on the cover.
Right.
So it was more of a timing thing and the fact that like this is who's really hot right now to be on the cover in contrast to, even though I know these guys is popping right now, I'm gonna wait till later because I'm still manifesting them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I understand what you're saying, man.
My thing was like, right, if they would have just put like the locks on the front cover as far as like the title of it, I would have been perfectly fine with it. But to represent it as D Block, that's why I had an issue with it. Because listen, everyone knows the Locks is a 3-man group. You never heard of a D Block until J Hood stepped on the scene. You feel what I'm saying? So when we all came together collectively, the four of us, we was D Block. So you can't just put them on there and say D Block because you're misrepresenting it without the person that actually
was there.
You're
not
not.
So you felt left
You're
out.
not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What I will say is, being in some of these meetings, all right, do we want to get the D Block name out, or do we want to and get the biggest look we can get, or do we want to argue with these dudes who don't really have a lot of time to argue? Like the clock is ticking.
Right.
Do we want to argue with these dudes and end up missing the cover? Because at the era you're talking about, the source was the end all be all. Niggas was jumping out the window to get on those covers. If I tell you some of the things that was happening just that in the lobby, dudes was going nuts to get on the cover.
I dissed Eminem for unsigned hype, bro. Still didn't get it. Yo, shout out to M though. Shout out to Zeno too. Zeno, you need to come up here, so we need to chase some stuff out, bro. But yeah, son.
See, not saying that I was right. I'm just
No, but you're young and you're not in the meetings. You don't see bigger picture.
I'm like, you know what?
As a kid,
I'm like,
with all the talent in the world,
I was somewhat I'm not gonna say fully responsible, but I contributed to or assisted in helping them recreate themselves.
And you felt you deserved the recognition at the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like I brought the younger.
And you felt you deserved the recognition.
Right. Not me, just like so.
No, you. Like, nah, come on, bro. You were there, you started it, you felt like you deserved. I'm not mad at that. Like, I get that. I also understand. I also understand the big picture.
Right.
You can sit there and I deserve this, and if I don't get it, then fuck that shit. You sure? Fuck that shit.
But see, I didn't look at it like that.
That's the translation. Yeah. If you want them to go in there and have that fight, that's what it turns into. So wait. If we don't put your young boy on the cover with you, what you gonna do? What happens? We can't run the story. That's what we doing.
I'm just saying, if you're a shrewd businessman, sometimes they definitely had leverage, but the Locks was who they were. My shit is just like, I mean, you could push the idea. If they decline it, they decline it. But
no, you don't even have those. You got to know when the goal is to get the cover so we can talk about D Block and we can introduce the home.
Because it's all about marketing and promotion. So how are you marketing a new artist if you're not willing to go at bat and put that?
Remember, just marketing.
Remember when I said I know your quotes?
They were marketing their imprint. They were marketing themselves. They
remember,
were marketing.
That's what you hit it on the head right there. They was marketing themselves, not the imprint.
Right.
Remember when I said
part of it.
Remember when I said I know your quotes?
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Did it really though?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Nigga, I was just describing the pictures in the fucking magazine and shit, bro. Like it worked.
It worked way more than it did if they'd have gone the other way. If they'd have argued and not done it, it worked way more than the other way.
His point though is when you got the Locks on the cover, and I remember that cover, and I was confused because it was like, if he would have been in there, it would have been like, that's D Block.
You know it from the inside looking out. You don't know it from the outside looking in. From the outside looking in, the average dude sees Chic, Styles, and pee on Chic Styles and Kiss on the cover.
Right.
They see the locks and then they see D Block. What the fuck is that?
Right.
What the fuck is that? What is that?
It's a misconception.
And they go
because
to
a
the-
lot of people, the average person, they associate the locks with D Block because that's what they call the locks as recreating themselves. They're like, yo, that's D Block, the new generation.
Now,
So now,
I'm today.
Now.
I gotta ask.
Down with D Block.
you talking about when you first established it.
Right.
We not looking in retrospect.
we split
Yeah,
the block.
in retrospect, cool. But you talking about now. I'm talking about when they first trying to get on the map. Everybody knows who you are now. Everybody knows how it worked out now. But when you first trying to get on the map, you don't take them fucking chances. You get your foot in the fucking
I'm saying
door.
respectfully, not even to sound cocky, but respectfully. We was the hottest thing buzzing on the streets. We was
Facts.
breaking the thermostat out here. Like, you know what I
Facts.
mean?
Right.
Like real talk. So I'm like, listen, they know what it is. And like I said, I'm not saying that I'm 100% right or I'm right, period. Anyway, I'm just
Right. You just
expressing-
felt like they
That's
didn't,
your
they didn't
POV.
fight
I
the
ain't
way
mad.
they should have fought.
yeah, at the time, that was my mindset. You know what
Shy,
I'm
did
saying?
you ever feel that way about Wu-Tang?
Nah, because my story was a little different, opposed to Wu-Tang actually putting me in a situation of getting a deal that didn't happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had my own thing, and we was collectively representing the same thing from the same place. But I understand there's Wu-Tang Clan, and then there's Wu-Tang and Wu-Tang Killer Bees. You know what I'm saying? So I never feel no way when it's Wu-Tang Clan business. It's Wu-Tang Clan business. I'm on the side. Watching, I'm just there to support. When it's time for Killer Bees and it's time for me to play my part, I show up. But again, I wasn't never really in a group, you know what I'm saying, with people. So it's a little difference. I may have felt like you if you would have said, okay, now we're Killer Bees as a group, and all of us is together as the Killer Bees, and then we get on the cover and it's Wu-Tang Clan there. I'll be like, damn, I thought we the Killer Bees now for this thing.
Right.
So I get it, but then I also get you got to go with the main imprint because no matter what, no matter how much I sit there and scream ISO, this, that, and third, they're gonna go Wu-Tang. That's it.
Facts.
First, you know what I'm saying? So understanding that, to understand like, yo, they had to get them on there for them to even pay attention, like, oh, and then get inside and taste it first and be like, oh, this is good. Once I open the package, but you might not open the package if it says a different name than Hostess.
Everybody.
You know what I mean? You might not pick up that donut.
Right.
It's Hostess, even though it looks good and it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the Hostess
I
first.
can't
instead of
imagine
doing-
the shadow you was under. The Wu-Tang logo is almost as big. It's like the Kiss
It's like
logo.
it's like slavery.
It's like the Rolling Stones logo.
It's like slavery. It's like it's on your back. You know what I'm saying?
Right out of the video. Right out of the video. Who got
but it's
branded in the video?
also- I don't have no problem with it.
Yeah.
It's like because I also know that, yo, if they get a ring, I get a ring too.
All right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. I feel like at the Last Supper or at the supper, you know, there's people who bring the turkey. There's people who bring the
stuff.
collard greens. You know what I'm saying? I would like to believe I bring some bread and some wine to the Wu-Tang table, or you know what I mean?
Little
As
mac
long
and
as I
cheese.
did that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I might not bring
mac
the
and cheese is
cheese.
the main role.
Maybe Cat
and
might
cheese
have bring
all
the
that.
mac and cheese. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I may have bring, you know what I'm saying, some wine, some bread, some candy yams.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
They
Just
gonna
add
be
it
dinner
on.
rolls, bro. It ain't just bread.
Yeah.
You bringing dinner rolls. They got butter on them, bro.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm
Toasted.
saying? That's how I
Yay,
look at
thank
it.
you,
Right.
thank you, champ. Them
Toasted.
shits is toasted, bro. Come on, man. Like,
I think that mentality separates things, like, you know, all together we all play a part in it, and we're all a collective, as in Wu-Tang, D-Block, you know what I'm saying, Math, we're all collective to hip-hop, that one big thing, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's what
And
is
there's room for everybody to grow.
Yeah.
Right. Did you ever have a problem getting features from Wu-Tang members?
Nah, not at all. Nah,
did
that's
you
never a
ask
problem.
for them?
Yeah, I have tons of unreleased music, you know what I'm saying, with the clan, but it's a thing of, in this business now, it's like, yo, what you gonna just keep throwing it against the wall and saying, yo, you need marketing and advertising, you need the budgets, and you need to really work a record, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So
Fair enough.
it's like we can keep doing that and keep doing it, and just because I have Meth on a record doesn't mean that all Method Man fans is gonna come by this because
Right.
he's
Man,
on
Rugged
it.
Road to Recovery.
Yeah, but that's a whole different lane. Now that's a new media thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's more of my social work. That has nothing really to do
I had to
with.
plug you though. I had to
Yeah,
plug you.
thank you. But that's more of a social work and a 5-year prison reform thing that I do for the people to keep people out of prison and to get on that trajectory of receiving the assistance and knowing when assistance is being presented to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's that. But as far as music, you know what I'm saying? Me and Hood got a new joint, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we here.
Yeah. Y'all was shooting that outside? That was the joint y'all was shooting outside?
Yeah.
No, I had to show up with the, you know what I mean, with the joint.
This nigga funny. This nigga,
You know what I'm saying?
But it's beautiful. I would love to see something like, you know, the elders and us with this new record maybe being supportive and getting on it.
Yeah,
you know
it's love. Please don't ever get anything misconstrued though. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into a lot of other stuff right now, but it's like please let's be crystal clear. We're only speaking about a mindset that I once had during that time period.
As a teenager, bro.
As
I don't think anybody can hold it against you as a teenager.
Right.
Like, but I am curious as to, since you brought it up, like, are you ready for this? Like, well, you know, you did mention the prison reform.
Yeah.
We spoke about how everybody knows the story of child actors.
Yeah.
And how it goes so left for so many of them. You know what I mean? You get started in. To hear that you even did time with such a jump start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With such a foundation, surrounded by elders, surrounded by OGs, with OGs. Like Wu-Tang had OGs.
Yeah.
How did it go so left?
Well, I would have to say first and foremost is guidance, really, right? And you say guidance, right? Guidance at home. You know what I'm saying? At home. You know what I'm saying? I have my mom, she struggled with drug addiction my whole life till she passed away, right? My pop's been in prison pretty much my whole life. Thank you.
Yes.
My whole life,
God
right?
bless.
Pretty much. And my family, my immediate family, cousins been in prison, you know what I'm saying? Majority of my upbringing. So I was left to be nurtured and cared for by outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would include the projects, that would include the clan, and that would include the business of it. So now you have this kid who's bringing in income and this money. I think people forgot about the kid and focused on the business, you know what I'm saying? So when real life issues was coming, I didn't know how to deal with it. I had to go through it and learn from firsthand experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? To for my own understanding.
There was no figure there that was like,
I can't say that, but when you take the elements of money, fame, women, who's gonna tell somebody at 13 who got $350,000 what to do? Like, I didn't have, like, what? All right, well, I ain't doing it. And then it's like, all right, well, we need the bag. You know what I'm saying? It became that. And they allowed a kid to make decisions for himself that, you know what I'm saying? It was more, it should have been forced, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, you know, a lot of my people in my corner, they seemed older, right? This is how my growth had to come in it. Then when I thought about it, I was like, yo, they was only 24 themselves. How much was they really leading me? My mom's had me at 16, and she, you know what I'm saying? How much could they really lead me? They was just learning out for themselves. Right. So now I stand where I'm at today, and I'm like, yo, it took me this long to learn these things. Wow, they were still learning them too. So I have a different understanding and respect for those, you know what I'm saying? And
where did it go left?
Wait, hold on, because he said something interesting. You said money, women, 13, 350,000. What kind of chicks was you cracking at 13, my nigga? Like,
I just said
it was
grown women, industry women, any chick my age, and any you name them. I'm saying not to be like that,
but it was going down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty.
You know what the
I mean, today they probably would have went to jail for it.
Yeah, that's
but
nasty.
At that time, you know,
Right.
14
That's
on the
gross.
road.
You could Bill Cosby somebody if you felt
came in with the older woman. But you want to know the context that's left out of it that people don't.
You gotta speak up because you don't got a mic, bro.
You know what's missed out of it, right? Because when people say where was the older people, I'm one of them niggas that was around them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The thing that happens with this is that yo, you go on tour, yo, you do a hit sitcom or movie or whatever, and get dropped back off right back in the projects. You're home. You know what I'm saying? And you're not famous here. You know what I'm saying? You got more money than everybody, and then the energy of saying it is like, yo, it was like this was Richie Rich right here. These are the pros.
So everybody was coming at you.
So nobody told you to move? You got the money.
Here's the thing. The reason I'm gonna be honest right here. The reason why, one of the reasons I never wanted to leave Staten Island was because of my mom's drug addiction, right? And it was embarrassing, and I was just like, I always felt like, well, at least everybody here already knows. It's no big secret to kick Shyheim in his back to say, yo, this is mom, and she struggled. If I moved somewhere else and I moved here, they'd be talking about me, maybe selling my mom some, you know what I mean, whatever. At least I knew it was safe there to a degree. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what is hard to leave. You know,
because you take her out of that environment, now you have no idea what happens.
But then in hindsight, now when I look at it as a grown man today and I look back, I was like, yeah, that probably would have been the best thing to do, take that chance.
Right. So how did your life, where was the first misstep?
So let's get, you got the deal.
Yeah.
The single comes out.
Though.
Yeah.
Shooting videos, you got the Wu-Tang imprint on you. What's happening? Up until that album drops, what's happening?
Up until the first album drop?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like hitting the lotto, man. We downtown Fulton, everybody's shopping. We got food in the crib, no more baking soda and water only, no more syrup bread and sugar water. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, I took everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I had a limo, it was 50, everybody on the floor. We all went everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's why today I can go back to my neighborhood and it's like, yo, he shared it on his way up, down, and back up. You know what I'm saying? I can't say the same for everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Right. It was like that. And then the elements of the neighborhood, again, for not leaving, I still had to deal with the reality of where I'm from. So I'm dealing with two realities. On one hand, I'm this celebrity and this star, but on the other hand, I'm just another person in the hood, right? That has these things, that's this honey and these trinkets, and I'm still the same, but everything around me changed. And it's like those that was at one time protecting me, like stay away from them, just turned around and was just like, yeah, you look good. And then you put in situations where you go, what to do, right? And then you start becoming, well, myself, I can't even say you, I became other than myself, trying to prove that I was somebody other than myself. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a rapper, I'm an actor, and I'm talented, right? In my mind, it reversed, and felt like I had to prove I was tough, I was a killer, I was a gangster, and I shelved all my talents. I'm like, yo, I think I'm sitting in my cell, and I'm like, yo, they tricked me. I can't believe I let these people trick me. I walked into the net that was set for me already. Right. And that's when I started to change.
When did it go down? What was the first? You said he shared it on the way up and on the way down. When was the down?
I think once it left from posses and neighborhoods to gangs in New York. And you know what I'm saying? And being a teenager in the culture at the time and being a young person in it. So it was like, although I was around elders, it was my generation's music. So I dealt with the reality of that generation. A lot of people that repped that generation wasn't of the generation. They was the generation up. They was the 90 dudes, what their era was the 80s. Right. Getting money and all that. Mine was the 90s and I was growing up in the 90s. Right. So it was just a little different, you know what I'm saying?
So what happened? How did you get to that point?
Where
like they tricked you?
How
did you get to that point in detail where they tricked you?
Well, I got cut. You know what I'm saying? I got cut in the streets, and then it led to carrying guns, and then it led to prison time. And then once I had that first strike, it was like I was just tagged. And then after that, it was like trying to get back to the music, right? So then you start to think in the old element, right? So, yo, I gotta hustle. I gotta get this money up for these videos. I gotta do all this. Right. So then you take that route and you get influenced by what you think you have. And all the jewels was there. Right. You know what I'm saying? I went down the wilderness. How'd
you get cut?
In a party around my way, man. I came back around the way after I was on WB. And, you know, I just came around the way. And it was like the jewelry, the neighborhood politics from being from a projects and people don't like, it's just like when you the poster of a neighborhood, you take everything that come with it. So it's although I wasn't a gang member, although I didn't sell drugs and I wasn't in the street, I was from a neighborhood and those things happen in that neighborhood and the opposite. So they say ops now, anything, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you know.
So you was in a party though?
Yeah.
Hey, look at this though real quick.
Hold on a second, sir. And somebody just walked up out of nowhere.
It was it was more of a attempt for the jewelry and things like that. And
It was a robbery attempt.
Yeah, it was all that. I didn't do nothing to nobody. It ain't like, yo, I had a beef with a nigga or anything personally.
Wow, you took
so it was
somebody's
that,
girl.
you know what I'm saying? Nah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I took everybody's girl, but it wasn't nobody's girl. If I got it, she wasn't yours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? It ain't mine. I can't tell her.
I helped you out. I revealed who she was.
I wish more people thought like that.
You know, so but you
Jesus,
know,
facts.
even with the growth, I understand the elements, right? That I was held responsible for being there. You know what I'm saying? Now when I look back, I don't put myself in places that, because I know I'm responsible. If I go down the projects and post up and it so happen to go down and pow, I get a straight, yo, I ain't have no business there. I ain't getting no money there. I ain't doing none of that. You shouldn't be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even though it was a bad situation for me, you know what I'm saying, and I wasn't the aggressor in the situation, and it was a great learning experience because it made me tough as hell, right? But I learned that, yo, nah, go that way.
So you got cut, started carrying guns after
Yeah.
that because you got cut.
Yeah.
That led to getting popped for a gun.
Yeah.
And then
Then it was downhill.
went to jail.
Then it was downhill. That was the first big. Then you get back, you know what I'm saying, and you become a more criminal when you go in, right? So now you thinking all these great ideas, and then now your man's in them while you was going and getting a different type of street money. Now, so I'm coming back, you know what I'm saying, it's a little weird with the music in, you know what I'm saying, trying to get back in, because you read and you learn business. You're like, oh, I could do it this way and not really get, you know what I'm saying, the most out of it. So you try that, and then different influences, and for me, it bring me down. It bring me in the wilderness for 40 years, you know what I'm saying? And I had to go through love, hell, and right to be here, sitting here today.
Wow. Wow.
You know one piece I want to add to it, and the question you kept asking, how did it happen?
You gotta speak up, bro, because you don't got a mic.
You got a mic.
It's like I was with him the night he got cut, right? I lived with Shy. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing about it, right? And this is the part that gets glossed over, right? Is that when you're somewhere, like this what happened with Takeoff, right? It's like when you're somewhere that you're not supposed to be. The night that he got cut, we were supposed to be in the city at a record release party, right?
oh shit.
If the decision, this is the context that's left out of it. You know what I mean? The decision right now, I would never forget it because I'm in the house. You know what I'm saying? We popping up. The reason we leaving the house is because we're leaving the alley. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We having a great time. We just moved to a new spot because we had the party house, this, that, and the third, right?
Right.
Now we're supposed to leave the alley. You know what I'm saying? This is why we're together. This is why we left the house. Where he stopped at, it was no reason for us to be there on no level. You know what I'm trying to say? And the decision of saying, if this is like living in a great time, but it was like the decision was saying, like, if it was to go to the city and do this, you know what I'm saying, politic, like how we called it, or stop at this ghetto hole in the wall spot, I was sitting in the car, you know what I'm saying? But what happens is that those decisions right there, it was leading up to that. By the time he get cut, he's already out of here. You see what I'm saying? When you say a spiral, it's not a rainstorm, it's a drizzle. You know what I mean? That once it's on, it's on. You know what I mean? That
Right.
you can't say that it was this or it was that. It's a combination of the perfect storm.
So why didn't you go in the party with him?
Because it was like that shit looked as stupid. It was, listen, first of all, the underground, for everybody on Staten Island that know, is literally and figuratively a hole in the wall.
Could you not stop him from going in?
No!
Then you shouldn't have let him go in.
He couldn't stop you from going in?
Now see what everybody's saying? Now,
no, I'm asking. He couldn't stop you from going in?
Probably not, because of the person I was. Like, again, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to answer to nobody. So even though he might have been, I would have looked at him like, what you acting all scary for? You don't want to go on the spot? Like, that was my attitude. Because I'm thinking it's love, though. You got to imagine, like, I rep for here. You know what I mean? So I'm not thinking, it's not like I had beef and I'm like, yo, we got to be. I'm coming in, I walked into a net of love. I'm thinking, when it happened, I'm like, oh, shit, these niggas, this is crazy.
Right.
Like, it was like, that's when it dawned on me. Like, bing, oh shit.
Did you know the dudes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate
like,
is real.
yeah. Oh, it's not even it's not my age. It's not even, it wasn't like, yo, it's dudes my age, no, this is adult, and looked at it like, oh, look at them double, because back then, it's 90s, I had real gold, big double locks, and you know what I'm saying? I was on TV, I'm on WB, I'm getting 50,000 a week, like, so I'm thinking by coming home and showing like, yeah, I'm doing this, look, y'all, you know what I mean? I didn't have to be there, again, but, you know, I thought it was showing, look at me, and we can all go, but
you thought you were showing inspiration.
Yeah.
You showed
it ain't like that at all.
But when you're young, again, I was a kid.
Live and learn.
I was a kid.
Right.
So it was like, okay, learn. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Yeah, depending on the mentality, inspiration is taunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you're inspiring somebody. You actually, if they got a fucked up mentality, you're
teasing
rubbing
them.
it in
They're looking at it like you're teasing them. You like showing somebody, yo, look at this car, look at this fly, and they're like, car. And you just saying like, yo, bro, look.
Waving a steak
instead of when I was coming up, I seen somebody, I'm like, yo, how you do that? Where you doing that at?
See?
That was different.
See? Two different
Now
mentalities.
they see, like, how you get that, yo, booking. And then you mess around and rob a working man that got a nice car that's paying a note and got a nice chain, but he get up every morning and go to work. But they're tricked of thinking that that's the drug dealer and go rob him. And then he goes and say, yo, you robbed me. And then they saying he's a snitch. He ain't no fucking snitch. He went to work. He go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a civilian.
He didn't participate in the crime. He didn't go there with you. He didn't leave there with you. He didn't observe it and had nothing to do with it. And then talk. Like, so.
He paid his taxes.
Yeah, so that.
So the police work for him.
Did you encounter any of those type of issues when you first got incarcerated? The hate, the jealousy, the envy?
Well, I went to a MECC, right? And in a MECC is a whole different game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's grown man time. So it was really, I learned the mind your business thing. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have an issue. And the person I had to become in there was not the rugged child, right? You know what I'm saying? I had to become of my environment, you know what I'm saying? So the lifestyle, you know, the boofing and all that, I had to adapt to that and become that, you know what I'm saying? So it makes you colder and it makes you more wise. And I was fortunate enough to run into dudes that knew me from being a kid and watched my struggles and just was like, nah, come here. Nah, we ain't going home, but you got another shot out there and we gonna help get your mind right. So when you go back, you got a plan to stick with. And you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for them brothers.
So that's, real quick, that be the problem in the hood though, right? Because a lot of the OGs we grew up around in the hood is incarcerated.
Right.
They get incarcerated, they learn the tricks of the trade. We come in there under them and they like, nah, you're not doing that. You're gonna read these books, you're gonna sign up for these courses, you're gonna go to the yard and work out, you're gonna go back to yourself.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, clean slate.
But that structure, that organization is not prevalent in the street.
It was bad.
Because our forefathers is not there.
Yeah.
It
And
was
then the
bad.
ones that's there is just trying to eat off of niggas because they like, they the young wild boys. We gonna get what we gotta get off of them.
Right.
See, it was
But we
bad.
learn that
So
structure inside, bro.
The guards would be like this. I'll come to the yard and I'll be talking to somebody. Yo, nah, get away from him, Jake. Nah, get away from here. Y'all with that. Nah, get out of here.
Right.
And that's what it was. And he's like, yo, what you doing out here? You came out, what's going on? You ain't studying? What's up? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm grateful for that because it taught me that discipline that you was talking about. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I went in there, I ain't have a GED. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even have a GED. I got there, I'm like, I ain't got my GED. So I went to school, got my personal together. So it's like, yo, people don't have their personal together but want to get a rap career. It's like your regular life ain't together. You can't even manage $500. How you gonna manage 500,000? You know what I'm saying? So I learned, prison taught me the budget, knowing that, that money order coming in, I can't spend that whole $100. I gotta stay up for this, I gotta make my list. So it taught me a lot of skills. I don't wish it for nobody, but it's sad, but I say, yo, it was the best thing for my life.
Right.
Prison be saving niggas lives,
coming from not having that order.
Yeah, and it stripped me from that ego. Right. It stripped me from being an MC. None of that mattered. I was scoring 75 like everybody else. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? And I was grateful for that. So now I come out, I don't even really like have that ego or have that expectation. So I don't get let down no more because I don't really, everything's a plus for me. Oh, word, we got there, they gave us a free drink. Oh, that's a plus. That's it. That's it. It's the plus. For now. I'm not talking about tomorrow, and I'm not quite just tomorrow. Like right now, it's lit. Right now, I'm here with Mav Hoffa, J Hood, and all these beautiful people here right now. And I'm going to taste this and eat this right now.
Right.
Because we don't know it tomorrow.
Facts.
Tomorrow, not promise.
Facts. That's a beautiful That's a beautiful thing. You gotta. What's going on right now?
Because it's a hurtful thing, right? Yeah. I had a whole career, right, that I was just there. I didn't taste it. So when somebody was hollering, I'm like, yo, you know what? I went to the French Apps and I don't know. And then I'm mad at myself for learning history and be like, I was right there, didn't go to the main things. I'm in a strip club and these monuments and these things that's so imperative to my history and who I am. I didn't have no interest of that. You know what I'm saying? But blessed with another shot to see it again. So I'm like, I'm not gonna waste it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And those jewels are probably gonna be passed to somebody else who's gonna make the right decision.
Well, you outside now setting up structure for, you're talking about it.
Yeah, I have the Rugged Road to Recovery retreats. You know what I'm saying? So whereas it's this retreats of wellness and healthness, mindful eating, drinking, and intake of knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
How long is the retreat?
3 days. 3 days, and you know, all the professionals come in, mental health professionals, holistic cooks, and you know, body trainers, and lawyers, and financial advisors, because it's basically a resource center and the day room in the street. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we put the people that want it. I'm not trying to convince anybody. So it's not gonna work if you don't wanna do better, eat better, work out better, learn business and study, because it's like being the you know, nation of gods and earth. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to be a gangbanger than it is to be a 5%er, because you gotta study. Right. If you ain't studying, you can't get involved in the conversation and you're not really down. Right. So it's easier to be like, all right, we stay on stupid and just hurt. You know what I mean? So
is your program in the city or it's outside the city?
Well, it's remote. See, I didn't want to do brick and mortar because it leaves me stuck. And I'm like, yo, this jewel and this information needs to be mobile. To be out. So, you know what I mean? I do them upstate in cabins. I do them in, you know, farms in different states, and just move around. Because I know if you bring, what happened to me was in the neighborhood, even though I left, I came back and it didn't work for me. So I take them away, you know what I'm saying? And do it for them days. And then by the time the third day and you take that long ass ride home like you did on that long bus, you can think and come back home with a plan. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. I definitely got to chop it up with you.
What up, boy?
I definitely got to chop it up with you about that. What's good?
Yeah.
Because that's important. That's very important.
And you know, I've been in talks. We all been in talks. The entertainment part and the part that I'm struggling with doing deals with the media part of it is that you try to tweak it and make it like a show. And I'm like, nah. All you could be is the drone, because I'm dealing with real lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with keeping people out, and I know in 90 days is the most crucial part. You know what I'm saying? People always tell you when you come out, get a job, right? And you sitting on the couch, right, and drink the last Kool-Aid. But how? Nobody says, yo, let me show you how to do a resume. Let me take you to get a suit, because you just sent a person that never had a suit. They gonna come in with a big baggy suit and walk in the office. They gonna be like, I know you never put on a suit.
Let me tell you something. I know some.
And then when we make a move and go back to jail, they like, how you get back? Because you didn't get
I know some foul niggas, bro. Foul niggas that was charging niggas for a Gmail account.
Yeah.
Man.
See what I'm saying?
Niggas just like, yo, you need a Gmail? Y'all hook you up, give me 150.
And dude thinking he getting something special, right?
Yeah, that's foul, man.
That's the scam of the year right there.
I ain't got to pay for this.
I seen a nigga try to bust the move in front of me. I was like, yo, son, that shit free, son. I'll take this nigga. I'm trying to get this nigga money.
Some cold shit.
Cold, man. But it's what it is, you know?
That's how.
Dumb, deaf, and blind. You don't know, you know?
Yeah, at least you're doing it right.
Well, see, I have to, because my life depends on it, right? So it's like I have to do it for me. So that's why it's like it's really the work, and it's not work because I do it every day. I have to. If not, I'll fall back. It's easy to fall back into them old ways. Right. All it takes is one slip up and
a bad day.
That's it. And then it's like you forget about all that you work hard
You really
for.
feel like it's that close on you?
Yeah.
Like every day.
Every day. Once you an addict, you always an addict. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like some days I sit there and you know, I can have a drink or coffee and my body would be like, yo, you need some dust. Like my mind would tell me that. I know, I hear it.
I didn't know you
and
were
I'm like, yo, hold on, chill.
I didn't know you were addicted to anything.
Oh, see me, I was, PCP. I was, yeah.
Wow.
And it's still, you still.
Yeah, I used to 139 from Linux, BIGGA. Like that's how we got close. That was my spot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, what age? Because I'm still picturing a kid who went left.
Yeah.
What age did you pick that habit up?
I didn't even start anything, to be honest, probably till I was about 17 years old, 18 years old.
Still a kid.
Before then, I didn't even dabble in no type of substance abuse. But again, with fame and things like that, you start being in the mix and influences. And of course, you got the paper, so people are going to be like, let's get another bag. Let's get another one. Another one. And then when you crash your whole life, none of them people were there. No radio people, no interview people, no nobody. And then as a kid, you look like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I remember being in there calling lawyers like, yo, I'm facing 30 years, help me. With the RZA gonna, who's gonna handle this? And then it's like, all right, kid. It's like, oh, reality. All right.
That's
you know
where the money went, to the habit.
Yeah. No, the money ain't not to the habit, to every habit. My habit, my mom's habit, my family's, you know what I'm saying, wants and needs in the neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like little Robin Hood, you know what I'm saying? Like grown man, a kid buying grown men sandwiches.
Right.
And that's not to kick nobody, but they know, like, nigga, I was footing the bill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know how life goes. You can do all that and then hit the bottom, and the same people who did all that will act like you're not even there.
That's a fact.
Was it the pressure that the PCP helped kind of get the pressure up off you?
Yeah, because
because it allowed me to think the bullshit that I wanted to believe. That I wanted to believe, that I was telling myself.
Which
you know what I'm saying? All type of things, that I was this person that I really wasn't. This character that developed, that I said, oh, I have to be like this to be protected, to protect myself, because who else is gonna protect me? Because when I had the opportunity to be protected, no one protected me. Not the neighborhood, not the clan, not like nobody.
Right.
So now, today, I have to go back and protect that little kid that wasn't protected, that I feel. You know what I'm saying?
The OGs, this is something that needs to be said, and that's no shot to nobody. It's something that, and that's something I hear that's just been said like, oh, everybody's an OG. You ain't an OG because you got some age. You an OG because of the man that you are. The man that you are. I'm not going up the block with you or nobody else up in here if I don't have a certain amount of influence and control over you. And this man will tell you that, and that's not in a bad way. So if I see a ditch right there that you about to walk in, and I say, yo, you respect that. If you don't respect that, I ain't going nowhere with you. And all you OGs need to adapt that, because that is the problem. We allowing young dudes to do what they want to do and run amok, and we're not keeping control of the situation. You see them getting ready to walk in the ditch, yo, my man, you stop, you stand still. You here on the side of me. If he don't do that, then yo, you're not even supposed to, I want to go outside across the street to the store with you. Right. And if we all was moving like that, that would set a whole different thing that's going to
let you fall in the ditch and then talking to you, how you fall in the ditch? Well, you knew the ditch was there.
Yeah.
I asked one of the elder guards a question. I've been waiting for years to ask him, and I just wanted to know the secret, you know what I'm saying, to navigation, and you know what I'm saying? And they told me it was the measurements, right? And then they made sense, because, you know, ingredients and measurements makes a thing. So I had to learn to do the same things that keep me out of prison, right? To my relationship with my family, to everything. It took me a long time to realize, oh, it's like math. What you do to the front number, you gotta do to the back number.
Right.
It seems so simple now, but it was the hardest thing to get. And then once I got it, I was like, all along, man, I done wasted 20 joints of foolishness.
Right.
But you get it when you're supposed to get it.
Right. And you share it to people, and they get it.
And that's it. As long as I do that, I did my duty to civilize it. That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now hood. But there's a lot of that you didn't have to go down that road.
Right.
I could tell there could have been a lot of internal issues there, but you took responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not saying nobody did nothing else wrong, but I just say, you know what? To save me a peace of mind, whatever. You know what? This is my part I played. All right, it's all love. I'm not gonna put myself back in it though, but I'm aware of the part that I played, and I'm aware of the part that other people played, and I stay mindful of that at all times.
Right. But the only part that you can control is your part.
It's you.
And the way I react to the way an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So in your situation, how did the rumbling start? Was it from the source cover to this to this to this? How did the rumbling start to where what we knew is D Block, what the streets knew was D Block? Because the magazines, that was one thing. You know what I mean? Like in the hood, you never really walked into projects and seen Source magazine sitting on a coffee table. You know what I'm saying? Like we had Clue tapes, we had this, we had that. That's how we knew what was going on. You dig what I'm saying? How did that start? How did that internal issue start?
I mean, to be completely honest with you, it was a collection of things. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like one particular thing or this thing
It's
here.
never one thing.
Yeah, it was like, and it's like me taking full responsibility for shit because I was, you know, as a kid, you're not gonna address a lot of things you're supposed to address as a man. You're not gonna be able to identify the issues that you may be able to identify later on in your life. And I didn't like speak on them immediately when I should have spoke on them. So I kind of let stuff build up and build up and build up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Till eventually got
there was a lot of different stuff, and it's like
what was the
when
build-up,
it came to that boiling point, it was, I think one of the last things that, like for me, it was because my whole position was, okay, so when we got our first deal, right? Each deal that we had, actually, I was an intricate part of. We had 2 different deals. The first deal that we had was with Motown Universal, right?
Right.
That deal was structured for a Sheek Louch album and a J Hood album.
Right.
They didn't want one without the other, right? So obviously, I was a large part of why we got that deal. If I just told you that, so all right, so we signed that deal. Sheek ended up dropping the Walk With Me album.
Right.
That's where everyone heard the 2 Guns Up single from, right?
Right.
Now, after he released that album with Universal, for whatever reason, he wasn't pleased with the outcome as far as like the marketing and other things like that when the project dropped. So what he did was he started negotiating a different deal with Koch.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I was already signed and set to release an album with Universal, which for whoever doesn't know is a major label. Mm-hmm. Any new artist would need a major label to be, you know, to prosper and be successful. Mm-hmm. But at that time, I wasn't looking at it like that. So, like I said, when Sheek went to go negotiate the new deal with Koch, he came to me and was like, you know what? We have a better opportunity for you over here. And he basically explained to me what the splits would be as far as like on a monetary level. He's like, listen, you can stay over here and get 60 to 70 cents off of each album, or you could come over here and get $3 off of each album with Koch. I'm like, listen, I had just signed a deal with Universal. I got like a $35,000 advance or something like that. And I'm like, listen, man, if you guys could get me out of this and get me another deal over there with y'all, it's not even a question if I'm going to go already. I'm going with the big homies, you feel me? Like, you don't got to ask twice. Mm-hmm. So they end up maneuvering me out of the Universal deal and getting me over on Koch. I had to put this out there, which was the largest independent company at the time. So we went over there, and the deal that we got over there was structured the same way. But the only difference with this deal was they added a DVD to it. Mm-hmm. So they got a Sheek Louch album, a J Hood album, and a D Block DVD. Now, at this point, I got it on fire in the streets. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. Like, on everything, on every mixtape, every freestyle, yo, Tales from the Hood coming soon. Yo, Tales from the Hood coming soon. Right. Nigga like, come on, man, you keep saying that shit. When that shit dropping? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so I'm scheduled to drop on Koch. Like, we working on the album. But Sheek come to me, he like, listen, they want me to drop first because I'm already a known and established artist, so they more, they feel more secure and more comfortable with dropping me first. Right. Like, I'm gonna be extremely honest. I didn't completely buy that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out here with the youngins in the streets on the pavement. I know what they want to hear and I know what they're waiting for and all that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm a team player. So, okay, cool. You want to drop first? All right, go ahead. So he ended up dropping first. And
this was what album?
This was the second album. Now for everyone that doesn't know, like, first and foremost, D-Block as an imprint, as far as artists goes, you only have Sheek Louch and J Hood. We're the only artists on that label. And to give you a little bit of backstory on it too, also, like what everyone didn't know was what D-Block is really Sheek's label. Like Kiss and Styles was just a cosign. So when we got,
they don't split up anything.
I mean, they split it, but at the end of the day, Sheek has the last say so with everything.
Right.
So once we get the deal on Koch and I'm supposed to come out, to my knowledge, the budget wasn't cracked because we didn't do anything. We didn't shoot any videos. We didn't, do anything like that. But we started working on my album, and I got to pick the producers that I wanted to work with and all this other type of stuff.
Who was the producer?
I felt like super confident with it. I had Alchemist on the album. I had DJ Premier on the album. I had Kwame on the album. I had Pete Rock on the album. Who else? I had all type of all of the illest producers that you made.
Where's this album?
Locked in the D-Block vaults. I didn't get to take any songs when I left.
Wow.
So so when it was time for us to start working on everything with my album, I just felt like people didn't put forth the same effort or the same energy that they put forth into Sheek's project on Koch. So unfortunately, after we signed the Koch deal and I got my advance, which was, I think it was like $20,000, $25,000. On a regularly you would have to wait 3, 4, 5 weeks for the advance after you sign the paper. It was just a bunch of different things that happened when we signed the deal. First and foremost, when we signed the deal, they allowed me, and I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not saying they made me do anything, but they kind of advised me to sign it without my lawyer being present. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen.
Who's they?
The Locks.
Okay.
We went to the meeting with Koch. Their lawyer was present. They was there. My lawyer was on his way. For whatever reason, he was late. They listen, bro. Nigga, you family. We ain't about to tell you to sign no BS. You know what I mean? Listen, you're the only one that's holding up the bread. As soon as you sign, the funds will get released. I'm like, all right, Sandy will be here in a minute. Just chill. Man, just sign the paper. Ultimately, end of the day, I'm responsible for it. I end up signing the paper. And so now I have to wait on my money. Someone borrowed $25 out of the company account. So basically they took my advance and I had
Who's someone?
I'm not gonna name no names like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be looked at a certain way. But anyway, somebody took the 25 out and I had to wait till it was replaced till I got my advance. And unfortunately, while I was waiting, the apartment that me and my mother lived in burned down and I lost everything that I owned. I lost $10,000 in cash. Everything was lost.
Right.
I end up on the news, in 2, 3 news channels.
Yeah. J Hood and his moms.
Yeah,
so he lived with his moms, y'all.
Yeah, all that.
That was what niggas was saying. Wait a minute, he lived
But
with
the thing is this, right?
Right.
My mother at that time, she had just learned that she had just been diagnosed with liver disease. So I was assisting her, and on top of assisting my mother,
pressure.
Yeah, one of my youngest sisters had autism, so I was helping her deal with real life stuff.
More pressure.
Living with her, right? You know what I mean? So
how old was you at this time, huh?
18.
18.
Come on, man.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
the whole
that's a
time
lot.
he's saying this, I want to say how old are you? This is crazy.
You're supposed to be living with your mother at 18. That's normal.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I know that's what the trolls was saying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what the trolls don't know is, right, it's crazy. I moved out at 16, actually. And I had my own studio apartment at 16. My mother ended up getting a crib upstate. That's when I got kicked out of Yonkers school, ended up going to school in Mount Vernon, and I had the crib. But once she moved back to Yonkers, I ended up moving back with her and all that. But when the 25 got replaced, the crib ended up burning down. And when I finally got it after that happened, I got it probably 2 weeks, probably 2.5 weeks after that happened. I ended up getting it. And 25 ain't really nothing, especially when you just experience something like that.
So was niggas holding you down with little pocket cash here, yo, hold this. Yo, your crib just got burnt down, hold this.
I mean, truthfully speaking though, you know what I'm saying? When I got my 25, I had to basically replace my mother, her furniture, get her a new spot.
Right.
Give a couple dollars to the fam, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Whose fault was it for the fire?
It was nobody ever said whose fault it was. All I know, it was a 2-alarm fire. It caught the fire from our building, went to the next building, the power lines. It was like crazy.
Oh, shit.
So I ended up having to pay for my mom's hotel for like 2.5 weeks, getting a new spot. Anyway, by the time like I looked up that 25, first and foremost, I didn't get the whole 25 as a whole. I got it in increments because I'm gonna tell you why I messed up.
555.
I ended up getting. I had the same accountant they had, and I only had 25,000. Realistically, I didn't need no accountant. That nigga charging me $900 a month, and he's not doing nothing but allowing me to take 4,000 out at a time.
You had an accountant,
right,
to get 25.
Facts.
Wow. And nobody came to your aid. Like, yo, we know what just happened with the crib, with Mama Love, with your sis.
Now that's an interesting question. Now this was the turning point that kind of made me feel a certain way, right? After this took place, like normally I wasn't going to the mother label, which was Koch at the time. You know what I mean? Because I let Sheik and Super Mario and the people that deal with that because I had my trust in them. Something told me one day, just go down there just to check up on things, just pop up. I ended up popping up with one of my guys, and we sat down with Alan Grumpler, who, for anyone who doesn't know, the general manager over at Koch. We sat down. And he like, listen, man, I heard about the unfortunate situation that you just experienced. I sincerely hope that what we was able to contribute and give you like really helped you out.
Too much.
I'm looking at him like,
this is too much.
What you talking about? What you gave me?
Yes.
He looked at me like, man, what you talking about? What we gave you, man? I'm looking at him like, for real, what you gave me? What you talking about? He like, listen, man, we cut a $60,000 check and gave the guys when they came down here and told us that your house burned down and you needed assistance. You know what I'm saying? So we hoped that helped you. I'm like, what you talking about?
Yo,
he looking at me like I'm crazy, like I'm lying. I'm like, bro, I really don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So when I found that out, and there was only 2 people that had authorization to sign off on behalf of me.
Who was?
I mean, it was Luch and Super Mario.
Right.
And SP could have, but you know what I'm saying? It was either one of those 3. So when that happened, that kind of like made me feel like a certain way for real. I'm like, man, damn, like this is.
Did you owe them money?
No. These are people that actually, my mom gave you the blessing. You came to my mom's on the block, told her, listen, I want to sign your son. I want to do this. I'm going to look out for him. And she like.
Right, but these are also people who got bad deals and was told it was business.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So.
But as a minor, you're not looking at that. You're like, listen, man, this is my chance to get on. I'm trying to get heard.
Yeah.
I'm about to get out there.
No, nobody knows any better. Man. That's the problem.
That's not
nobody
it.
knows.
So you're not doing shows at this time? You're not getting sponsorship?
Nah, I'm doing, this is the thing, right? See, I'm doing shows, but they're keeping it to a minimum. You know what I mean? Because they like, we don't want you to burn out. We don't want you to, oversaturation and, things of that nature. And, I was a team player for real, bro. Anything they told me, I was on it. I did it. I listened. I'm not going to listen to 100% of what everybody tell me because that's part of being human. You want to experience things on your own because experience is the best teacher and all that.
Right.
And on top of that, I'm young. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't listen to everything, but like 90% of what they told me, I listened to it.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So it was just a lot of things. The shows, I was doing the shows, doing shows with them. It was different things. I was getting shorted. I felt like it was just crazy. I'll say like at 100%, and this is not to talk dirty. I'm just speaking realistically.
Understandable. Now here's a question. What was the condition of the people that you were working with?
When you say condition, what do you mean?
Were they up? Or did you see signs of, everybody ain't got it like that?
When you say what up, I'm saying? Please describe. When
I say up, like were they comfortable
and financially stable?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. My thing is just this. I give them the benefit of the doubt because I look at it like this being the age that I am now. This was their first time being business owners.
Right.
So I can't like really say that they were educated in that field and they knew how to properly operate a business. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I had to buy my own car. I had to end up getting my own everything. When you own a business, you could write certain things off for your artists and do all this type of stuff.
Right.
Like for a minute, I felt a certain way that they wasn't doing those type of things. And that like kind of led me to feeling the way that I felt on top of, like I said, a collection of other things like, show money and things I just told you, the 60 grand. I ended up finding out the budget was cracked, when to my knowledge it wasn't. It was just like a bunch of different stuff, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of inconsistencies.
Right, but But what people don't know is they would look at it and be like, yo, it just seemed, or he sound like it was just all bad over there. Yeah, we actually had more great times than bad times, but it's like the bad times overshadowed the good times because it's like the things that I'm explaining to people that they might look at as bad, they like, I can't believe it.
Well, it didn't help that, a video comes out of you dragging the D blockchain.
Right.
And like, if you want people to focus on the good times.
Right.
While the bad times is on video.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the first thing that they seeing.
I would be.
They're not seeing like, yo, something ain't right.
Most of us would have had no idea anything bad was happening. And then next thing I know, Jay Hood is beefing with the Locks. And we're talking about a 3-man group who's never had any outside. We've never heard any internal beef get out.
But let's be transparent though, right? When you say, yo, nobody never knew anything. Certain people knew certain stuff. They like, listen, man, they had this guy over here for mad long. He ain't dropped yet. He ain't on no singing. He ain't dropping nothing. Like, what's going on with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, okay, devil's advocate. I fucking hate that expression. On the other side of that coin, for the general public, that could be you.
What you mean?
That could be you. Now, how many artists I've dealt with who had perfectly good projects who just keep going over and over and this song and I gotta fix this and this ain't right. Shout out to the OG Kamal. Q-Tip is notorious for holding on to music and being a perfectionist.
Dr. Dre too.
Dr. Dre has an album, several. Detox may never show up. Like that album may never show up.
Son.
So what I'm saying is creatively.
Detox is like
listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
It's like the Loch Ness Monster.
Niggas call your shit Detox and music ain't coming out, bro.
It's interesting that you
talking about established people though.
That's crazy.
And it's
talking about established people, not up and coming artists.
I'm talking about creatives, period. I've danced this dance with dudes who are not
That's
known.
the benefit of the doubt that he's giving.
But you don't know. You don't. From the outside looking at this dude, you would swear he was on fire. He's got a buzz. He's ready to go. There's a budget. And then for me, being on the inside, working with these dudes in the studio. Say it again.
So you're questioning the product in a sense.
No,
not necessarily questioning the product.
It's not the product. It's the perception. The perception is multi-layered, right?
Okay.
There's one group of people who would look at it and go, yo, what's going on? Why he ain't dropped yet? He's doing X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. Then there's a whole other side that's gonna go, why though? Is it them or is it him? Because it could be him.
Because if I
might be them.
If I went in my
skeptical
mind, I'm like, the producers you just named, none of them niggas is cheap.
Right.
How was that being worked out? Were you overseeing that? Who was paying the producers?
It was different things that was worked out. Like let's just say we sat down like collectively and went over different ideas. They was asking me like, yo, who would you like to get on the album as far as production goes?
Right.
And I listed everyone that I wanted on the project, and they was like, you know what? We're gonna see what we could do, to make some of it reality. You know what I mean? Like everything that I spoke on wasn't obtainable, but a lot of the things was, and we created it. So, but I think as far as like the perfectionist view on things,
right?
Yeah, it's like that wasn't the issue.
Were the producers being paid though?
Yeah, it was a lot of favors.
Right.
To be completely
That's
honest with you.
different than being paid.
No, but it was never no issues with the producers though. That wasn't the issue with the music.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out where the money might have went.
Yeah, because 20 grand won't pay for that.
The budget wasn't cracked at all though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm aware of where budgets goes and all that.
Right.
The shit wasn't cracked to my knowledge, I thought to my former manager's knowledge, and it wasn't a crazy amount. It was probably like 15 to 18,000 missing. But it wasn't paid to.
But you also never saw that 60.
Absolutely not.
Did you approach them on it?
No.
You never approached them on it?
Until later on, after the fact.
Why?
What was the response?
Why'd you let it sit?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
On top of that, it was smoke.
Look, and he brought up Dre, right? And that's interesting that you brought him up because I could just add a bunch of different reasons as to why the things that took place. Like, I was aware of the fact that multiple people were interested in signing me and collaborating for my album, right? And they let it be known. They spoke to me about the majority of them, but one situation in particular that they failed to to fill me in on was Dre and Aftermath reached out and said that they was interested in signing me and coming on board with the project. And they didn't tell me that. The only reason I found out was because when Game started hanging in New York, I chilled with him for like 3-4 days, and I went to a session with him down in Sony, and I met an A&R from Aftermath named Angelo, I think that's his name if I'm not mistaken. And he sat down and told me, like, yo, bro, you sick. Yo, you know, we reached out and tried to like work out a deal, you know, on your project with them, and they like, in so many words, he said they turned him down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, you know what could have took place if we could have possibly did a collaboration with D-Block / Aftermath? It could have turned into something else.
Dre's vaults are
This shit sound
notorious.
crazy, nigga.
Like
This shit sound crazy.
Dre's vaults are kind of notorious for being one-way doors. There's a lot of music.
I bet.
Did you ever think about dropping a refrigerator on that new vault?
There you go.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
not gonna lie. I was
I'm just saying.
when I learned that, I was kind of like, I felt the way. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like,
Because you felt like these are three guys who felt like they got a raw deal.
I'm like, y'all told me when
And
Foxy wanted to sign me. Kiss told me about that.
Right.
They told me when
On
JD
Fox
wanted to sign
5,
me.
she wanted to get you?
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri wanted to sign me.
Right.
They told me about all kind of other labels, but they didn't tell me about the Dre thing. We sat down with Pharrell and we was discussing the deal, but you didn't tell me about the Dre thing.
Right.
So I kind of felt the way about it.
Might have been. They might, in their minds, they might have been protecting you from that. Dre has a lot of artists that it was a known thing that Dre would sign people and then not release the music.
Yeah.
I was under the impression at the time. Now, let me be specific. I want to highlight the fact that I said at the time.
Right.
This was my mindset. I was looking at it from a perspective that, because, you know, anytime you go into business with any individual, you have to know who you're dealing with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't fully understand who I was dealing with. So the way I was looking at it, I'm like, listen, they're not going to put a person in a position to be equally successful as them or more successful than them because they feel like they haven't received what they feel like they deserve out of their careers as of yet. So they're not going to put me in a position where I'm able to overlap them because I myself heard Sheik say to me out of his mouth.
Even if you make them filthy rich.
That's what you would think. But I heard Sheik say out of his mouth one time, yo, I don't know about her because we ain't gonna be able to control him if he blow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I always was my own man. I spoke for myself. I had my own crew. And
there's an underlying fear there.
It's artists.
On their side.
you know, I said, I give him the benefit of the doubt because it's your first time doing something. And you had a raw deal yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have the knowledge how to run and operate a company, period, properly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had to be in a sense, the sacrificial artist to
Well, you were first.
deal with something.
Well, you went looking for it, nigga.
Yeah,
You was on that corner like
technically.
Jay.
Yeah.
Jay. You know what I mean?
However,
Jay.
He was on that corner like.
You was on that corner. They was like, this nigga keep coming around, we gonna give him a contract.
then we did a skit. The Jay Jerkin you nigga skit.
One more time.
Let me give you another POV from somebody who deals with a lot of young artists. There's a lot of times when we who are in an executive position feel like there are certain things we need to do to keep an artist to save him from himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times. Case in point. Nobody was around to save him from himself.
Right.
His own decisions, his own actions, his own ways, his own mentality, his own thoughts. Nobody was around to go, don't do that. And save him from himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I deal with artists right now who I know if they got let go into the world, if they were not dealing with me and they got with somebody who's not looking at them the way I'm looking at them, as a little brother, as a little sister, like if they get loose from me and I let them go out into this world, they're going to come back with all if they come back. And the deals they'll see.
Did you see the Hitmaker episode?
Unlimited access.
Right.
Unlimited access to everything.
Oh my
Alcohol,
God.
drugs, women. Unlimited
son.
access to money. Unlimited access to the worst people ever who know all they got to do is tell you lit. And anything they want you to sign, finished.
See, this is the thing though, right? Mm-hmm. Not understand what you're saying perfectly, 100%, and I agree with what you're saying. But my thing is this, I didn't lack the guidance. Like my situation was a tad bit different, and I say that because I kind of sold myself short. Because like when I first met these guys, first and foremost, like I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist. I paint, I draw. I went to a school of performing arts. You know what I'm saying? Like I come from a I'm not going to say a great family, but a good family. Like, you know what I mean? My grandfather was a doctor in the military. My father is like one of the highest decorated Marines in Marine Corps history.
Yeah.
Fuck my mom's a teacher. My uncle is one of the top 10 architects in the United States. He's a professor at Berkeley. So when they met me, I was like drawing and doing poetry and all that type of stuff. And I just stopped doing a lot of stuff because I felt like I was being shunned for being artistic and being an intellectual and stuff like that. So I kind of like put that to the side and was running with trying to be what they were because they wanted me to be that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I sold myself short that way, and I know it could have been something else. Continue. You know what I'm saying?
I hear two separate.
And I wasn't one of those kids that was out here running around getting in crazy stuff.
No. And you don't have to be. But when Sheik Luch says we won't be able to control him, all I'm saying is that can be taken different ways.
But I personally know him, and I've been around since I was 13, so I know him personally.
Right.
So when he was saying that, he mean that like because I have my own crew, like, and I'm just speaking like freely. They don't like people around. Like even if you have your own crew, if you're an individual and you're around, they kind of dislike you bringing somebody around that you don't know, even if it's your own crew. Like it's a control thing. You know what I'm saying? So
but they control their space. I can't be mad at that because 9 times out of 10 you bring somebody around, I don't know them, I'm going to watch them.
Who knows?
Be like,
I'm just using that as an example.
That and keep in mind when they met you, it was just you, and now you blowing up. You got a bunch of niggas.
But man, where that 60,000 went for?
Oh, that's a whole different.
That would hurt me.
That's not me speaking on none of that.
This is your story. Me putting myself in that position. A nigga say, I hope the money that we gave
helped you.
Yeah. What money?
Right.
Now, mind you, my mom's crib just got burnt down.
All my shit was in it.
My siblings with special needs.
Right.
You gave what? And it never came to me?
Right.
That right there.
Yeah, no, that's different. That's different.
And
bruh, dragging a chain?
I don't want to gloss over that chain
issue,
I'm
hitting somebody with that shit. You know what I mean?
Let's not gloss over the chain issue, though. Because I want to put it out there, and I've did it multiple times already. I said it various times. That wasn't the correct thing to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I definitely could have went about things in a whole totally different way. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I was dealing with a collection of different like feelings, different emotions. I felt betrayed. I felt like hurt. I was crushed. You know what I'm saying? Like
frustrated.
My big homies, like, y'all niggas, because this is the misconception that people have. Like, they like, this nigga was beefing with them because they ain't dropped his album. And that was never the issue. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to be released from the contract. And they wouldn't let me out of my contract. So that's what the whole beef was about. Like, when I told dudes that I wanted to leave, because I went to the studio and I had a conversation with
They didn't want to let you out of the contract?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Conversation happened in the studio?
Yeah.
Hold on. The same 3 guys that was fighting to get out their contract didn't want to let you out the contract.
Right. And in a sense, I understood
after the 60,000 disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
That they never gave back.
Right. I understood it from a business aspect, even though I never got a chance to actually drop a
Pardon
retail
me.
product.
I'm saying 3 guys. Nah, it was 1. Right? Okay.
So so the chain thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I could have, like, now, looking at it from hindsight, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the time, I wasn't in a position to articulate myself in the correct manner.
Still a kid.
Yeah, and speak to them and say the things that need to be said as far as expressing myself. I couldn't tell them exactly how I felt. And I didn't, even though I was wrong for feeling that way, I felt like them being older, they should have, like, set me down and let's talk about this.
But at the same time, you're the man of the house.
Right.
When you heard about that 60,000,
That was crushed, man.
Why wasn't your next move like, yo, son just told me.
Because that wasn't the first incident. So I was kind of like, even though I was wrong, I was kind of used to different stuff at that point. I'm like,
She was eating it.
I knew I wasn't going to be there for long after that. I'm like, listen, if incidents keep occurring, I have to make my way out of this. That's why I planted the seed to start my own thing and admit to that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that they didn't like also. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you trying to start your crew and put other people on and you're not fully on yet. I'm like, listen, because my plans was different from the start. Like realistically, I wanted to come in and retire at 25. My thing was, even though it's far-fetched, but I'm like, I'm gonna come in, drop 4 albums, and I'm done. I don't want to be here forever. Right. I'm not trying to rap at 30, like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so if I got a homie that rap, I'm about to use the same blueprint that we used to start this movement because I was here and I helped contribute to start this, so I know what it takes. So I'm gonna let him ride with me, and that's just what it is. And one of them end up being on D Block Next Generation and signing with D Block. Actually, like 3 of my dudes that used to be with me end up signing with them after the whole thing.
After everything that you went through, they still turn around. Yeah. Well, then that's kind of pointing like fault in your direction.
Not really, because I can't even. My thing was this: I was looking at it in the sense of everyone they want fame. They chasing the fame. Everybody want the dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like one person in particular, that's my dude, and we didn't talk about it. You know, we spoke on our, he spoke his piece. We good.
What's his name?
AP. He's from Yonkers. He's from Kiss Block.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kiss knew he rapped his whole life. Never wanted to do anything with him. Mm-hmm. I heard him and was like, yo, this nigga could spit. This nigga talented.
Right.
Start running with us. I'm doing songs with him, put him on mad songs. You know what I mean? Every mixtape that I'm doing, like any connect that I have, I'm plugging them. I'm doing all that. Right. Even though I'm not even in position to really be doing all this type of stuff. Right. But I'm like, look.
Right.
So once cats started hearing them with me, they kind of like start dangling the fame in front of him, like, yo, So he like, yo, we should start putting ODG/D Block. This is back with MySpace. On our MySpace names, I'm like, nah, listen, because I don't do that. I want to keep everything completely separate.
Right.
So if anyone's looking at us or interested in us, they'll be like, yo, this is something separate.
Right.
But a person that's fresh out the streets, only thing they know is what's buzzing. They're like, nah, D Block buzzing.
Yeah.
And I knew at one point, I'm like, listen, I don't have the capital to support these people that's running with me, so I'm only going to be able to really speak to them and have them running with me for so long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have strength, but this shit is limited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in a position to really support them.
Your stomach start growling and they're like,
yo. So I'm like, my time is clicking. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So they put him on a song, put him on another song. Next thing you know, shit went down. He ran with them. Another dude that started the ODG movement, which is my company, he stayed with them as a producer because his uncle is Styles' best friend. I never fought at him for that though, because I already knew like the
connection was strong.
And then another dude that I had brought, he ended up running with them, and out of spite, they gave him a position. So it was just like a bunch of stuff that was going on behind the scenes. But as far as the dragging the chain go, that was never even supposed to go down. It was off impulse. And that footage was never even supposed to come out.
Right.
Because the dude, like, first and foremost, when I did it, shout out to my dude Bloody, man, YO. He was like, listen, man, the original plan was just to show the chain on camera because there was a rumor floating around the net, yo, she took her chain. I'm like, first and foremost, I had to buy my own chain. Nigga, right. Nobody would never take my shit over here. You crazy, nigga? Right. So the plan was to just show the chain that I still got it, to dispute the rumors that was going on. When I showed the chain, yo, what happened to that chain, Hood? Showed the chain, and the homie was like, man, we don't care about that chain. We walked that shit. As soon as he said that, nigga, I just walked it without even thinking about it. Like, you know what I mean? Walked the shit.
Right.
And we ended up going to the 50 show in the Bronx. That was where I was on my way to.
Cause you was trying to poke at him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of like kind of like a symbolization of how I felt they was doing to my career. You know what I mean? Like you just dragging me. So I'm gonna drag the imprint that we created. Right. Not saying that was the right thing to do, but that's what happened. And prior to me doing that, I had just took the meeting with 50, even though I had no real intentions of signing with him. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you, I read the 48 Laws of Power, and my whole thing was, even though the mindset wasn't correct. I'm like, crush your enemy totally. I couldn't have crushed them totally, but in my mind, I'm like, this is a gut shot at least. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, I can't sign with 50 because I'm contractually bind to them. Mm-hmm. But if you guys are keeping me off the radio, you're using your connections to suppress me, the least I could do is take this meeting, and it's going to contain shock value by me taking a meeting with our quote-unquote arch nemesis, and it's going to be a gut shot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So
he should have read the guard your reputation.
Yeah.
He should have read that law.
For me, I was naive.
Guard your reputation.
I was so naive into thinking like people are going to respect truth rather than to side with people off fandom. Like, you know what I mean? And I was wrong for that because niggas don't care about truth.
No.
They want to go with whatever they think is popular.
What they've been following. Right.
So when I took the 50 thing, I'm like, this is strictly for that, shock value. Because I had meetings with other labels also, but you didn't hear about them because that one contained the shock value. Mm-hmm. I took the meeting with 50.
What 50 said?
I told the homies from the beginning, I'm like, listen, this is going to go crazy on the net. Mm-hmm. We know when niggas ain't signing, man. Come on, these niggas ain't letting me out my shit. So I set the meeting up. When he heard about the idea, he like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm going to keep it a rack. This nigga was with me. We went down to Manhattan. This when their office was their office was what, across the street from the garden? Went down there, I'm not going to lie. I had the nigga 50 waiting for like 2 hours. 2 hours, nigga. So I ended up getting to the office late. I'm like 4 of the homies. We walk up in there. They like, yeah. Who are you? I'm like, yeah, J Hood. They like, man, you just missed 50. I hear somebody talking in the background. Hey, yo, man. Hey, yo, that nigga left, man. That nigga went to the clothing room, man. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is that? I smell mad haze and shit. And they come around the corner. Yeah, yo. He like, yo, hey, yo, what's up, man? Yo, you ain't with these niggas no more? Yeah. I'm like, nah, man. He like, yo, come with me, man. Follow me to the joint. I'm like, all right, bet. So we end up following him to the clothing spot. The clothing office. Walked up there. You know, we metal detector. They patted us down and all that. One of the security came out. He like, listen, man, 50 only gonna see you. I ain't had no problem with him. I'm like, if that's what he want, whatever. You know what I'm saying? 50 came out after that. Like 1 minute later, he like, nah, let everybody come. Like, tell them come in. Everybody came in. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like 50, I didn't know him, like, you know, before that, but what he showed me, I'm like, okay, dude is a totally transparent and genuine dude because the information that he shared with us, it's like he volunteered information that we didn't even ask him. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there telling us all type of stuff. This meeting lasted for at least every bit of 5 to 6 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Hospitality was flavor.
The hospitality was crazy. So we sitting there.
Yeah.
We talking about everything. First and foremost, they being like, Subhan, they like, yo, listen, man. We be getting mixtapes just to hear what y'all dropping. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, what the hell is going on with you though? Like, what are they doing with you? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, listen, man, it don't take a rocket scientist to see. Like, I mean, obviously they're not dropping my album. Like, you know what I mean? They like, listen, man, that shit is crazy. You know, everybody waiting on it. I'm not gonna lie. We waiting to see what the hell it shit sound like and all that shit. And I took it upon myself to tell 50 something like in the middle of the meeting.
What?
And I'm just telling you this because this is where I was at with it. I'm like, look, at the time, I was crazy. I was wilding, but I'm like, listen, man, I'm a Ja Rule this nigga shit. He like, I'm like, yeah, he like, listen, man, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, come here real quick.
Yo, remind you, when he tapped this nigga, not to cut him off. Me, Yayo, and a couple of other homies, we at the pool table playing the pool. The nigga 50 grabbed this nigga. These niggas is locked in the fucking room for like 2 hours.
Yeah, so he tapped me. He like, yo, come take a walk with me. We walked to the weight room. He closed the door. He like, look, man, that's how you feel? I'm like, listen, G. He's like, I'm not gonna hold you. This is how I feel with or without you. This is just how I feel. This is sincerely how I feel. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
This ain't
so
me
all his energy was directed towards Sheik.
Yeah. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I first left, I stated that in the statement that I released when I left. I was like, listen, the only issue I had was with Sheik. I don't have an issue with Kiss or Styles. So when I told 50 that, he like, listen, I'm like, look, I'm gonna do this with or without you because that's just how I feel. So I don't want you to think that I'm trying to come in here looking for you to help me get on this nigga and do all this. Like, nah, that's, you know, he like, nah, I understand. He like, I don't want you to think that that I'm trying to influence you to go at them or nothing like that anyway. Like, I'm like, nah, it's all good. He like, listen, so with that being said, are you out of your contract with them? I'm like, nah. He like, look, man, if you get out of your deal, the next meeting we have when you come here will be about figures. I'm like, okay. But me in my mind, like I told you, I already knew it wasn't happening. So I'm like, I was just kind of using this for like I said, the shock value purposes.
Did you tell him that?
No.
No.
Nah, I didn't.
Did he suspect it?
Probably.
Yeah.
As soon as I let him know that I wasn't out of my contract, he probably put two and two together. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was that though. But like I said, it lasted 6 hours. And then when I heard that they was having a concert at Jimmy's Cafe in the Bronx, I used that as another opportunity to basically generate the shock value. I'm like, listen, I'll be in the Bronx anyway. Let me pop up over there. So that's ironically, that's where the chain dragging took place. I dragged the chain on the way to the concert.
Right.
End up going to the concert. Now, the whole thing about the chain, like I said, that wasn't even supposed to come out because the nigga that shot the joint, I told him, don't put that footage out. I said, don't do nothing with that footage unless I give you the green light.
Right.
Later on that night, this nigga put the footage out. All right, so look, I'm gonna get back. I want to revisit that. So we get the 50 concert. We get there to the front. All the homies don't get in. It's only me and like 1 or 2 people got in. It was probably like 6 of us. The homie Trav, he ended up coming to get me and one of my guys, brought us in the joint.
He was at Fifth at that time.
So now look, Bussy, this was crazy. Now everyone knows about the D Block G Unit, quote unquote beef or the drama that was occurring, like, you know what I mean, prior to that. So this is my first time seeing Banks. And I forgot who else I seen, but I know Prodigy was there also. So
right.
Yeah, so I walked in, you know, I'm 5'7", you know what I mean? Like Banks really like 6'2" or some shit like that. So
right.
The nigga in the line, everybody going in, so he see me, he like, so he look at me, I'm like, yo, what's shaking, man? He like, oh, what's up? So I ain't gonna lie, in my mind, I'm like, I gotta keep my eye on this nigga. He looks sketchy right now. I'm like, back around, I'm like, this nigga looks sketchy. I'm like, I didn't pop mad shit about this nigga. He didn't heard all the tapes. I know
right.
this nigga. Cause Yayo done told us niggas hear everything. So I'm like, this nigga done heard everything. I done said this nigga look like he got Down syndrome, all type of shit. I'm like, let me watch this nigga, man. So I'm watching him, you feel me? I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep my eye on this nigga, man. Queens nigga, you ain't about to, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna sneak me. I don't care if y'all niggas give it to me, but y'all ain't gonna sneak me though.
Yeah.
So I'm watching everything.
Right.
So, you know, Prodigy, they see me and all that, like, what up? That was my, we all get inside. So, Yayo had just put out like a little diss to the Welcome to Jan Rock, the Jamaican joint. Welcome to Jan Rock.
Right.
So, but he did a D-Block diss on it. So, man, they called me on stage. He like, yo, what my dude J Hood at? Me, I pulled the D-Block chain out. Me, I ain't know what Yayo was about to do. I had no clue what he was about to do. The joint came on. Welcome to Jan Rock. Yo, fuck D-Block. I'm like, man, huh? But at that point, there's nothing I could do. I'm like,
it was too late.
He threw me in the grease, the fire popping.
Yeah. Facts.
Fish frying. I'm like, I can't do nothing.
You played a dangerous game.
Yeah, that's a fact. So
and they was like, oh, he ain't out his contract. He only meetings.
Yeah.
He want to get some attention.
I pulled the D-Block chain out. Everybody
looking.
I just did one of these. I'm like, nah. Everybody like, oh. I'm
right.
Like, nah.
Everybody was bugging.
Yeah, put the joint back in my pocket. I had other plans. I was about to throw it out. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. Nah. Put the joint back in my pocket.
Fuck out of here.
I put the joint back in my pocket.
Yeah.
I left. Man, like I said, the next day after homeboy put that footage out, man, I was in the fire. I woke up, everybody hitting me from all over the place.
Facts.
Like,
I went
viral before.
You was on World Star like this. They had you in the polls, dragging the joints.
Like, oh my God. Why would he drop this? I called this guy, I'm like, yo, fam, why would you release this, man? Like, he like, yo, nah, my cousin dropped it. I ain't release it.
You said my cousin dropped it?
My cousin put it out.
All right, so fast forward, all this shit go down.
Yeah, nuts.
When you guys finally speak,
Okay.
you and Sheik,
Right.
what's the conversation like?
All right, now, to answer that question, I got to tell you the process of how things went. And ultimately, it wasn't like immediately. This took like a minute to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happened.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a 5-minute break.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.